Alrighty, people, welcome in.
Yeah.
Hope you're having a fantastic, kind of like towards the end of your week, if you will. We appreciate you guys for being here with us, and extremely excited. I genuinely am to review some teams today. Like, I feel like in the mood. I actually just did an offline review before we got online, and I was just pumping out like idea after idea, and I was like, shit, I'm in my zone today. So that's what we're doing. We are reviewing
in zone, kid.
We're reviewing your teams and giving out some playbooks with those teams. Appreciate y'all for being here. What's up, Scribbles? Welcome in the building. One Pride is here.
Doing, y'all?
Albert. Kate says live stream starts at 8:30. Zach and Bidaki haven't pumped the coffee in the veins yet.
Joke's on y'all. We started earlier.
Matthew says koalas. Bree and I want to meet you at the Flock meetup. She's going to wear Team Bree shirt since everyone loves her more than me. I love that. Yes.
No,
we actually
awesome.
we have a meeting right next week, Bidaki, to discuss all those details.
Yeah, so hopefully this year we'll get it out sooner rather than later. Last year, obviously, it was our first year. It was kind of like, hey, should we do this? And we ended up doing it. But you guys should know, hopefully, I mean, I'm not going to give any promises, but hopefully in a month we have a lock-in date. Which most likely be in August for you guys. Once again, no promises, but
I definitely think it will be August.
Yeah, it will be August. When in August? Probably second or last week.
99% it will be in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, it will be in Austin, Texas. And once again, if you just keep your notifications on, specifically on here, or if you follow any of the other creators, you will probably announce that once again sooner rather than later once we lock in venue, details, date, and so on and so forth. So we're keen to meet you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
We met a couple of people last year, which was awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Got a bunch of upcoming meetings about it in the Flock League, and yeah, so we'll announce that. It's not official yet, but we'll announce that soon. What's up, Dale? Fuck you, Dale. If you know, you know. I'm not actually saying F you, Dale. It's a quote from my favorite movie. Not my favorite, my favorite comedy of all time, Step Brothers. I could literally put Step Brothers on at any moment. And
yeah, no, it's hilarious.
What's up, J-Rod? Frank says Badaki's looking clean with the cut, and it's a chop, actually, so you know.
Frank. It's a chop.
It's a chop.
It's a chop. Nah.
It's funny. Someone commented on yesterday's stream, and they said, "I'm a barber. It's a chop." So they had authority on the haircut.
I have been finding it difficult to figure out what to do, so this is in its natural form.
Yeah.
Woke up like this. I'm wanting to see how it is.
Yeah.
I need to style it next with some cream or some product.
Yeah.
To see what that's gonna look like. So I'm in my new hair phase.
Love it. Love it. What's up, Jordan? He says, hey, bros, would you take Waddle 106 for AJ Brown? I'll take Waddle 106, yeah.
Yeah, I would take
What's up, Steven? Welcome in. All right, guys, today's stream is going to be dedicated because we have such an incredible community, and you guys are really showing love right now in the month of March. So today's stream is going to be pretty much dedicated towards reviewing some people's Dynasty teams. All right, you probably know the deal, but in case you don't, you can get your team playbook, which is a customized game plan for your offseason, customized trade targets, what to do with your draft capital, understanding your league settings, by becoming a LAND, L-A-N-D, annual Mother Flocker member, or you can purchase one through the Flock store a la carte. Regardless what promo code you're on, just make sure you get that live tier if you want it done live, because the demand is definitely there right now. We will be reviewing teams live today. And of course, by the way, when you become an annual member, sometimes we don't do a good enough job of explaining this, but when you become an annual member, you get a voucher, right? And that voucher takes $79 off any review. The offline review is completely free then, and if you wanted the live review, it's only $7. And again, the only reason we require that is because of the pure demand at the moment. But you also get our 2025 rookie report, which I am extremely proud of. I think it's the best report on a rookie class that's ever been made. Of course, I'm biased, but it's beautiful. It's well made. It's well thought out. I mean, 60 summaries of individual players and written out specifically by myself, designed by Badaki. You also get a free trade question voucher, as well as a start-sit voucher, and some exciting stuff coming soon, by the way. unlock our complete rankings, premium tools, databases on the site, and of course you're supporting Badaki and myself. Again, use the promo code LAND for 30% off to become an annual Mother Flocker member. Flockfantasy.com/land. That link is in the chat. But of course, if you're a member of a different promo code, you can still purchase one a la carte through the site. So I already did Tiv Madness's review offline. That was very fun. Super interesting team. I can't wait for him to see his playbook in about 72 hours. What's up, Daniel says, y'all know what's going on with JK? Yeah, it's just not a market right now. That's not good. Not good, right? Chase says, bro, I can't wait for this shit show that is Richardson versus DJ. Will be a nail biter. I'm very excited for that as well. Joseph says, is a future second and a third enough to trade up to the 203? You mean just using your 27 second and a third? I'm fine with that. Especially if you're a competing team. Oh, you're like, is it enough? I don't think the 203 would probably say yes, but I would say yes to that trade.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think they would say one.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, you're good.
Okay, so we do have a couple trade questions on the site. We'll get to that first. Big Laughter just sent a trade. Now, they actually had a review with us. I remember that name. I think it was an offline review. Let me find the review here. That was pretty recently. Yes. Okay, I just want to make sure if it's the same team or not. But they said send the 103 and the 110 and Jaden Reed and Baker Mayfield. And they would get back Lamar Jackson, Chuba Hubbard, Devontae Adams, and the 302. Now, if this is the same team, let me see, because in his old team, oh, he didn't link his league. That's okay. But, yeah, so we don't even have the ability to counter here. But let's not assume it's the same team then. You know, I don't want to make any assumptions. But, okay, essentially, would you rather have the 103, the 110, Jaden Reed, Baker Mayfield? That's a haul. Or Lamar, Chuba, Adams. Lamar is worth the 103 and another early to mid first on his own, right?
The 103 and the 110.
Chuba, it feels like a little bit too much. I don't know why. Let's say Devontae Adams and Jaden Reed are equal in value, just for the sake of this. Let's say that Hubbard, I mean, you and I kind of value him around the 110, but most people don't. He's more like an early second. But let's just say for the sake of argument here that it's close. Would you pay the 103 and Mayfield for Jackson? Probably. I mean, overall, if you feel good about your roster and like your depth is fine at wide receiver and you know you're okay to miss out on this class, I'm not completely opposed to it, but it is a pretty penny to pay.
Yeah, for me, it's just based on the context of the team, and for me, I think looking at it at face value, I think I would still just want Lamar and Chuba, especially Devontae getting a 2-year contract there with Matthew Stafford. If I'm not mistaken, Stafford got another 2-year contract, not a 1-year contract. Correct me if I'm wrong there in the chat. So at least minimum, he's going to be playing with Stafford for the next 2 years if you are contending. Now, if you are rebuilding, I think if you are rebuilding, I want the picks in the younger player, even though Baker Mayfield is technically the same age or older.
Yeah, I agree.
So it
it's
just
pretty
depends
fair
on the rest of the team.
If you're going to go out there and get Lamar, you're probably going to have to pay that kind of package, so it comes down to context.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was off screen there for a second. A booger was playing peekaboo with my nose, and I
right up there.
Didn't want to do that all stream. Appreciate you, Big Laughter. We got another trade question here, and this one's from Garcia Bros. This is a free one from their annual membership, which is awesome. And Garcia Bros, what do they say here? I feel like we've had a Garcia Bros.
Still context recently there, if I'm not mistaken.
106 or Adunze. It's a Superflex 10-team league. That's about where I'd value Adunze. I think it'll come down to how the NFL drafts pans out. I lean Adunze in the Ben Johnson offense myself. You know you got a top 10 pick. You know, it's kind of, it's funnily enough, this is what I was kind of begging people to do last year with Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like, go send a mid first for JSN at that point. You know, loved him as a talent, had an elite tag, you know, on him, and I kind of feel the same way about this. I'm going to go Rome here.
Yeah, I'm going Rome. I mean, yeah, we're going Rome.
Yeah.
It's
Grant MJ had a question here. Another person who was able to use their free voucher became an annual member. That's awesome. They are sending away, it looks like a mid-second and Trey Benson for the 109. I wonder where that mid-second is. Let's say, well, it's not in the top 4. So let's say it's a 206 and Trey Benson for the 109. As much as I love Trey Benson, I'd have a tough time not taking that first round pick.
yes, I agree.
No one loved Trey Benson more than me last year, but I'd have a real tough
So
time
apparently,
not taking.
just holding Benson in the pick. Well, apparently, original offer Benson in the 209 for the 110. Okay, never mind. I personally would just take the 109.
Yeah.
I was just reading out some other messages that he put in the chat, but yes, I'm taking the 109. As much as I love Trey Benson, James Conner is still there.
If Connor wasn't given a 2-year extension, I think I'd go Benson, but it's just too worrisome. I'll re-roll with the first rounder.
Yeah, I completely agree.
All right, cool. Those are all the questions. Let's go to Mitch's team review here. How about that? Catch me outside.
Catch me outside. How about that?
How about
Good.
that? How about that? Scribbles agrees, by the way, with Rome in the 109. You love to see it. Does Mike Williams scare with the Chargers scare you away from QJ?
Oh my gosh!
I'll be honest. Quentin Johnson scared me away from Quentin Johnson. So I haven't even thought of the impact on QJ. That's how little I've thought about him.
No, I mean, Quentin's dead, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Rest in peace, King. All right, let's go to Mitch's team here. Again, guys, if you want to get your team reviewed, it's a great time to get yourself in the queue. You can get your team playbook as well as a live review by becoming an annual Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. Then using that voucher at the checkout and making sure you choose that live tier at the checkout. It's only like $7 for members. Okay, let's go to Mitch here.
Yeah, Mitch, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for being patient as well. Year 2, just I think my team is good, but didn't quite have the running backs or depth needed to make a serious run. So traded Puka, the 110, the 203 for the 101, the 106, a 26 first, and my own. Okay. I am okay with that. Any thoughts on trades or upgrades? I have 527 first, but thinking about holding them with the hope I can compete now and in the future.
Yeah, wow, that's a haul. I'm just realizing that. Puka 110, 203 for the 101, 106, and a 26 first.
That's what I'm saying. Without looking at your team, that is just an amazing deal, specifically for Puka.
You and I keep saying we think Genty's going 6 to the Raiders or 10 to the Bears or 12 to the Cowboys. We don't think he's getting past that. And if that's the case, he's probably going to go like within 3 picks of Puka in a startup. So I don't hate it. It's a start 11, by the way, 10 teams. So smaller league, but bigger lineups. I like when smaller leagues do that.
It's a rolling deep.
10 team, yeah. So rolling deep starting lineup. Okay, cool. And his team name is Neighbors Think I'm Selling Dope. He's ranked 1st in my rankings. Why don't you go ahead and read out his team here?
Yeah. Once again, Superflex, start 11, 10 team, full PPR. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, and Daniel Jones, the starting quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. Phenomenal quarterback room. You don't really have to worry about that. At the running back position, it's a complete joke, by the way, if you are new here with Danny Dimes. At the running back position, Tyrone Tracy.
I tuned it out. What did you say? I actually tuned it out. That's bad. What did you say?
I just said the starting quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts.
My bad.
Daniel Jones.
Anytime you talk about Danny Dimes, for some reason, my mind just subconsciously tunes out. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
At the running back position, Tyrone Tracy, J.K. Dobbins, and the list goes on. But you do have the 101, the 106, and a really strong running back class as well. Keep in mind, you could start up to 6 running backs or 6 wide receivers. With this being a rolling deep, meaning you can start to 4 flex potentially. CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, Brandon Ayuk, with Parker Washington and Tutu Atwell. I mean, it gets really bare there.
Yeah.
With TJ Hawkinson and Dalton Kincaid.
It's a good team.
with
I
the
mean,
101 and the 106. Yeah.
let's actually play out the entire starting lineup here, right? So Daniels, Dak probably to start off, but Caleb could easily replace him. I guess Tyrone, Javante for now. CD, Neighbors, Hawkinson in a tight end premium. And then you need to start 4 more players. That would be Wilson, Ayuk, and that's where things get a little bit tricky, right? Obviously, looking at our draft capital, or maybe Kincaid can recover in a tight end premium and be a flex, but looking at our draft capital, you're going to have 2 players like Ashton Genty, who will be crucial to this team, but as well as the 106, hopefully you can add another name, probably 2 running backs, ideally, in this class. So it's a bigger starting lineup. You don't necessarily have the you have depth. Like, look, most teams, if they had like Ayuk as a wide receiver 4, that's a pretty damn good team. So you definitely have depth, but the depth is just so crucial in a league like this. I like the team. I think overall team grade, including the draft capital, I'd probably lean like an A-.
Yeah.
Running backs aren't there, but I'm assuming Genty's on this team, right? And I like that we have Hawkinson in a tight end premium. Now, draft capital grade, I'd put it at like an A- as well, honestly. I think both kind of get in that A- range. Untouchables on this team, Jaden Daniels, CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors. So you can say whichever of those 2 on the graphic.
I mean, we can even put the 101 potentially.
Okay, yeah, let's put 4 untouchables. The 101.
We can put 4 untouchables, yeah.
CD, Neighbors, and Daniels. As far as your holds, Ayuk is a very strong hold right now. People still aren't really valuing him as like a late first. I don't know why Zay Flowers is valued at the 107, but Ayuk is valued at like the 112. It's confusing to me. I still think he's a hold. I would say the same with Kincaid. Unless you can get a mid-second for Kincaid, I'm probably wanting to hold him. As far as drops, you don't really need to drop anyone on this team. In fact, there's no one I'm like confidently saying, but Rice and Burton are the first 2 that come to mind on this team. Now, waiver wire, Kendre Miller's there. Kendre's got to be a priority pickup. So, yeah, I would confidently say I'm rostering Kendre over Daniel Jones. Maybe not Daniel Jones. AJ Barner, as much as I love him. So let's do that route. That's the main guy. Okay, so team pathway. I mean, look, we don't have to make this difficult. This is a contender, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, contender for sure. We're trying to go out there and win right now, and Badaki and I are on the same page about that. Let's go to the chalkboard here, okay? And at the 101, if you stick and pick, which probably is what we're going to do in a 10-team league, if you lost Puka Nacua, at least refill with an elite asset like Ashton Genty. What we imagine will be an elite asset, right? At the 106, you're going to be in this big old range. I think Badaki and I will probably suggest another running back. Yeah, I'd like to grab Genty plus one of those 3, Henderson, Judkins, Johnson. Of course, if you're not forcing the envelope there. At the 204, I mean, maybe a Matthew Golden falls there. Probably won't get a tight end falling there in a tight end premium. So you can probably mark that out, but, maybe Golden or one of these running backs who get 3rd round capital could be available. And then obviously beyond that, it's pointless to really guess those 3rd round picks. But that's a pretty decent haul. I mean, let's just say you ended up with Genty, Henderson, and I don't know, like, do we want to just say, I mean, I didn't even put this name there, but like Trey Harris, for example. Let's say that was your haul. Oh shoot. My bad. Sorry, guys. You add those names. I think you have 2 starters with the running backs. Now your starting lineup is Daniels, Dak for now. Caleb will replace him later. Then Genty, Henderson. Then Lamb, Neighbors, Hawkinson. And then we still need to start 4 names, but now those 4 names are Wilson, Ayuk, Tyrone, and then hopefully like a Trey Harris, or someone that you find in the 3rd round, or Javonte Williams, Jaylen Warren. It becomes easier to stomach at that point. I think there's quite a few players I'm willing to sell on this team. and Tyrone's in there. And there's always a price that we're willing to buy or sell every player on. But Tyrone, JK, Javonte, Jaylen Warren, like all of these guys I'd be willing to probably sell. And I think they are the main sells I would be looking at.
Yeah, it's tough. I thought about one of the quarterbacks, but in reality, as much as it's exciting to think of all these quarterbacks, you do have Kirk Cousins is a backup now.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is technically a backup, and the quarterback that you could potentially sell is Dak Prescott, but then you don't have a QB3, which we have always emphasized in a Superflex league is pretty important. After that 1 year, we saw all those quarterbacks go down. Los Angeles Chargers and Taylor Heineke have agreed on a 1 year contract extension.
The Chargers finally got their franchise guy.
Come on.
Let's go. All right,
Wow.
Tyrone Tracy. You know, we've said this many times. If you can get any first in any year, you know, you sell him. We've been very, very consistent in saying that, and very consistent in saying in most leagues you can't get a first, right? But in your scenario, if you can net like the 201 to the 202, I'm also willing to do that. I'm also not opposed to trading Tyrone plus something to kind of get a more secure name on the roster as well. Take me off the roster. For example, Rastafarian. What's wrong with me today? Okay, so for example, Tyrone, and you know we want to move from Tyrone to like CMC, for example, Ken Walker, Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard's probably very doable. Let's add like the 204 and then get Chuba Hubbard plus something back, and let's see what that Hubbard owner has. I got a question in the comment section today. What does Rico Dowdle do for Chuba Hubbard's value in Carolina? I said, well, now they have a RB2 within a healthy ACL. Like if you could add Aaron Jones and Chuba Hubbard, I think that would make a lot of sense for a team like this. Yep. I'd like to say Alvin Kamara. I just don't think that's really possible, but I'll put it there. You know, I don't think that's possible. I'd also love to say the 206, but I don't think that's possible either. I mean, maybe you can do like a 206, and then you send your 306 or something. You know, maybe that could really spark a conversation. But if you can, you don't have to move off of him. But if you can and you're worried about it, I have no problem with it. Javonte Williams is a name that I'm very strong on selling. In fact, I put out a tweet today. It was a little mention from our video, and you can go watch as to why I'm out on Javonte. But I just think there's a lot of reasons to be out, and I think this is maybe your last sell high opportunity. So anywhere from the 204 to like the 210, anywhere there, I'm probably selling. You know, that's a wide range. I might even take the 212. Sorry, Badaki. Like, I don't know. I might take the 212.
Nah, I was just gonna back up what you just said, because I mean, I'm just looking in the past 3 months. Javonte Williams on March 8th, which was quick maths, what's that, 12 days ago? He was running back 54 and keep trade cut. He's currently running back 46, almost gone up 10 spots.
Yeah, I'd sell him
in the past couple days.
Any mid to late second if you can. Obviously, not every league's going to let you do that. Jaylen Warren, I think in certain leagues, I mean, I'm seeing like Twitter loves Jaylen Warren right now. And I'm not saying like they're labeling him a league winner or anything, but they're labeling him like a starting guy before the draft has even happened. I find it interesting. And, you know, the value I keep seeing is like the 203 to the 206 range. And I would sell Jaylen Warren for that in a heartbeat. It wouldn't even be close. I don't know if you disagree. I think he's a good player, but I mean, I probably would even sell him all the way to the 210. I think he's a good player. I just don't think this is not Austin Eckler taking over his backfield. This is a guy who's going to split, you know, a backfield with another name, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he will. I'm just thinking of all the pieces that the Steelers have lost. Well, they lost Najee, they get DK. I think they lost a couple pieces on the defensive side as well. Look, I think it's definitely doable. I want to trade Jalen Warren. I'm just thinking how impactful that running back is going to be if it's not a top um day one or day two pick. I think if it's day three, like a fourth rounder, fifth rounder, it might be less impactful. But obviously that's a big if.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's say the 203 to the 207. 206. I mean, I would be comfortable to sell him, but I get that. Okay, so let's see here. Those are the main sells I had. The only other idea is if you want to use that 106. It's just such a weird range of player. You know, in most leagues you
I'm trying to
can't
think
get
of
like
player.
JSN, Lad, Marv,
Well, I'm thinking T. That was the first thing that came to
T
mind was T.
Higgins. Yeah.
Did we do that for T Higgins?
Uh,
Which I think I'm okay with.
yeah. I'm not opposed. I'm not really loving. I kind of would prefer to keep the pick, but
It just depends on who's there. Like, if the running backs, yeah, it just depends on who's there. To be completely honest.
yeah. T Higgins, Garrett Wilson, I think for sure. We just talked about Roma Dunze, right? So we can say Roma Dunze. You know, that kind of range. I don't really want to spend a 106 on a running back because this class just could end up being so special. You know, I don't want to send it for even Breece Hall. I don't want to send the 106 for with Justin Fields there.
Yeah.
It'd have to be like Bucky Irving. That would actually be my ideal outcome here of anything we've talked about. Yeah, so I think, again, you're a competitive team. You can make a couple moves to kind of cover yourself if you like. I loved the idea of like the Kamara. Well, Aaron Jones was more feasible, I think, in my mind. Javonte Williams is a huge sell for us right now. And then I think we also had talked about Odunze there as a good idea. But yeah, definitely a contender. You're on the right path, my friend. And
Yeah, Mitch.
don't overthink it too much. But that's the way we would roll out your team this offseason, my friend.
Yeah, and obviously you're not here with us, but we appreciate your support. As always, you should be receiving your playbook within 72 hours. In the Flock Fantasy message system, okay? There's a little message system when you go to your account and go to my review. You should be getting your team playbook in that message system, okay? But love,
Yep.
appreciate you.
Yep, exactly. Catching up with the chat here, by the way, I appreciate y'all being here and being a part of it. Be a friend, hit that like button. Today's stream is really built around kind of honoring those people who have submitted a review to us, who want their playbooks, and kind of just saying, hey, appreciate you. Let's give you your time to shine. So we will be doing that for the majority of today's stream, for the entirety of today's stream. But if you want your team playbook, you can check out the pinned comment where you can become an annual Mother Flock member with the promo code LAND. You can also purchase one through the Flock store a la carte if you're on a different promo code as well. Quick fire through some of these. Sober Thought says, would y'all trade the 101 and the 204 for Garrett Wilson and Worthy? No, I would keep the 101 very comfortably. Let's see. What's up, Scott? For members, if you want a live review for members, it is, I believe, $63. For non-members, it's a little bit more expensive, right? Because you get a discount as a member. Tanner says, I was offered Brian Thomas and Breece Hall for JSN in the 101. I have no idea what my thoughts are on that. I truly don't have an opinion.
What was it? He was off for
Brian Thomas and Breece Hall for JSN in the 101.
I would
JSN
want
and
JSN
Ashton
in the
Genty
101.
or Brian Thomas and Breece Hall. Let's It's
I
tough.
think if we are questioning Brees Hall and what he could be with Justin Jefferson, why not get a guaranteed guy in Ashton?
Yeah.
Hopefully, right? And then we already know that JSN, if I'm not mistaken, he did finish higher than Brian Thomas. Not saying he's a better talent, but he did finish higher. Correct me if
No,
I'm
Brian.
wrong.
I think Brian finished higher, but I don't actually
They were like
know.
really
I'm talking
close
out of
to
my
each
ass.
other,
They were
weren't
both
they?
great. Yeah, they were both really good.
I am talking on my ass as well. I don't remember what it actually was.
Mad Hat says selling
Um,
Warren for those picks is a steal. Whoever's selling a round 4 guy this year is different than a round 4 guy last year. I can definitely agree, and I agree with Roll
Yeah,
here.
that's
Says
fair.
if I can get Judkins at the 106, I'm keeping the 106. Love that move
Yep.
from Bajords. Alpha Pack says 112 or JT. I mean, we'll go JT there. Yeah, that's pretty cheap for Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to. Oh, I thought this said Jags signed Cooper Cup.
I know.
No, they aren't.
I thought that
They
said.
aren't
I thought
in
that
on
said
Cooper
too.
Cup.
I was like, holy shit.
Okay, let's.
Get JSN. Not just...
All right, we did just finish Mitch's review. Appreciate you, Mitch. Let's go on to Thorstad 19 here. And let me get his chalkboard up. It is a 1 quarterback, 12 team start 9. So we've got a 1 quarterback start 9 middle ground starting lineup. And the no premium, sorry, on the tight end. It is PPR as well. What's up, Scott? If you're going to get a team review exclusively, I think it's 79. Members get a discount on future team reviews, but if you become an annual member, I think it's 97, and you get a voucher for the review, as well as all of our rookie report, all the databases, premium tools, rankings on the website. It's becoming an annual member is by far the best bang for your buck. That's why we continually promote it as the best option for you guys. But yeah,
you can check out that link in the description there, Scott, or the link that's I think right above you as well, or pinned to the comments. So click on that, have a little look.
Let's get to Thor here. Go ahead and read out his context for us.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Thor. Thank you so much for the support. He says 2 out of the 3 chips. Not sure if I should keep my old guys and running back for another or start dumping. Also have 3 firsts in 2027. His team name is the 2023-2024 Wolves. All right, and let's have a look at this team. Currently ranked first in the community in your league according to Zach's rankings. And at the quarterback position, keep in mind it is 1 quarterback, start 9. So Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, phenomenal quarterback room. We don't have to do anything there. At the running back position, Jahmyr Gibbs, Achane, Jonathan Taylor, Tyrone, phenomenal running back room as well, great depth. At the wide receiver position, keep in mind you can start up to 5 wide receivers. Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Keon Coleman, with Tucker Kraft, Dalton Kincaid, Jonnu Smith, Travis Kelce at the tight end position. So you probably were rotating a lot of those guys in and out of the season based off matchup. You don't have any 25 first, but you do have the 203, which is, I would say, pretty valuable in this draft. And you do have your 26 first.
Yeah. This is an interesting one because I don't really see a reason to not compete again.
Continue to compete, yeah.
You have a lot of players that if you sold, it would be potentially at a discount, and none of these guys are going to net you a first, I don't think, in most leagues. Tyreek, Mike, Devontae. Justin's in his prime, or entering it. Jonathan Taylor, Jalen Hurts. I kind of feel like, not that it's an old team, but I kind of feel like you're in a window that I would continue.
Depth.
I mean, you've won 2 out of the last 3 years for a reason.
I think you have enough depth at the running back position that you can still see how you're gonna go. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm gonna go windows open for this pathway. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go windows open. The good news is, you're a windows open, meaning, everything is about trying to win right now, this year again, because you have the roster to do it. You have a bunch of veteran players. But in 2026, if you don't win, I mean, you can rethink this roster. You can retool because you have 2 firsts. See, you can very easily kind of hit the reset button next year if things don't really pan out your way. I like that. Starting lineup right now would look like Hurts, Gibbs, Achan, Jefferson, Evans, probably Kraft, and then we still need to start 3 names, which would probably be Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Jonathan Taylor, and then guys on your bench right now, if everyone's healthy, would be like Tyrone Tracy, Keon Coleman, Kincaid, Jonnu, Kelsey. So I think you're in a pretty good position to go out there and compete. Obviously, there's a scenario where a bunch of your players get injured and you really have to rethink this, but I definitely think we're going to go windows open. Overall, starting lineup grade, not the strongest at tight end. There's no premium, though. I would probably say like a B+. I'd say a B+ range for me.
Yeah, I'm okay with I would say I'm okay with B+. B flat, B+. I think it's good.
Yeah. And then as far as draft capital grade, I mean, you have 2 firsts next year. Let's just say a B flat. Nothing crazy. What's up, Gabe? Welcome in, my friend.
What's happening, brother?
Nothing crazy, you know, but enough to make some motion. I got motion, twin. On the waiver wire, nothing really stood out to me. All right, let's go through admin stuff here. Your untouchables are Gibbs and Jefferson. The holds on this team, I found it a little bit hard with holds. I'd say probably Kraft.
I wonder if we should do a sell high.
What?
Because if it's, sorry, the way I was thinking, like if it is windows open and you kind of hinted to it, like if you aren't too good and your team is either suffering with injuries or you're just not pulling the game or pulling its weight to win games, maybe you should then sell. So maybe instead of having holds, we should do sell high if, you know.
Are you going to put that on the graphic and change the graphic?
Instead of having holds, we'll just put sell high in season.
Okay. Okay,
You know?
go for it then. Who
I don't know if that's confusing. You get what I'm saying? So
I'm like, confused. I think that's more of like a chalkboard than a admin thing, but I want you to lead the way on it. So go for it. Tell us who you think.
Basically what I'm trying to say is instead of putting holds, and if your team doesn't do too well, since you are windows open, because if your older guys don't perform, if your team doesn't perform, maybe you can sell your older guys in season to a more competing team if you're a 1-5, 1-6, 1-7 type team. So instead of us saying, you know what, you should hold the Keon Colemans, the Tyrone Tracy's, maybe you should sell in season the Mike Evans, the Tyreek Hill if your team doesn't perform the way you go. Okay. Right? So yeah. I personally would say you can sell Mike Evans high. If your team doesn't perform, you can sell Tyreek Hill high.
All right.
And then that's probably the only 2 people you can sell high. Maybe Travis, but that's if he goes back to his own form. I don't know.
Cuts on this team, Dylan Lobb, Sincere McCormick are both very easy. I mean, you can add Cooper Rush to that list if you like. All right, let's head over to the chalkboard here. Not a lot of picks. I'd love to look. I'm not really a huge fan of sticking and picking at all with a roster like this and in a win now window. But I mean, look, there's a chance Matthew Golden falls to you. I think that would be a great addition for your team. But most likely, I think the best outcome is to use these picks in trades. And of course, you can't really sell the 312 and the 404. But ideally, I think you package the pick, right? And try and get an upgrade somewhere. So the 203 plus Tyrone Tracy, which we've talked about, right? Yep. The 203 plus I don't know, Tucker Crafts. I mean, I've seen some people very, very high on him. I think he's a fine option, but I am not opposed to the idea of selling him. The 203 plus you can go the Tyreek Hill route and see what you could potentially get. You know, I think that's the kind of idea I'd be exploring first with this team. And then the one name that we keep telling people to sell if if they can in their league is Keon Coleman any first in any year. In fact, I'd add like the 312 on there, or you know, a multitude of different players. Tank Dell as well, you know. And I couldn't get a first for Keon in any of my leagues if I had him, but in a lot of leagues we're seeing people able to pull that off. So the 203 and Tyrone Tracy, like Chuba Hubbard instantly comes to mind, but I think we could net more in return. So let's see who has Hubbard. That's Gotham Rogues. So for example, like Hubbard, it'd have to be like Hubbard, Judy, Hubbard.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go.
Hubbard Benson, something like that, I think, right?
Yeah, I agree. Hubbard Judy, I think feels okay. Just trying to see what else.
Yeah, I don't think you can really put together a package where you get one of those other names. Like I don't think we can really think about Trey McBride here. So I like Chuba there. You know, Josh Jacobs, I don't think it's unrealistic to say in some leagues you could probably get Josh Jacobs for this package, because we've seen anytime I talk about Josh Jacobs, there are comments where people are saying he's not going to repeat. You know, and that could be the case, but he looks like the clear alpha in that backfield to me.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that people think that.
Yeah, I mean they're going like based off of like Matt LaFleur has historically split the backfield, which is true, and no one was healthy last year, so it could be possible. But in the same breath, no disrespect to Aaron Jones, they've never had a Josh Jacobs where you feed 20 carries and you know he's going to stay healthy, you know. I like the idea of like adding Deebo Samuel as well if you can manage it. Like sending Tajay or something in this deal.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
You know, something like that. But I'd also just do this. I mean, would you do this straight up for Josh Jacobs, the 203 and Tracy?
I think I would say yes if the Giants draft another running back. I wonder if I can still net. Like, if Giants don't draft a running back, are you still wanting Josh Jacobs?
If the Giants don't draft another running back, I'd love to keep Tracy and see what he can be. But the risk is if the Giants do draft a running back, there's absolutely no way you get Josh Jacobs in this deal. That's why like. Yeah, who do you think is safer for a guy who has a windows open?
It's Josh Jacobs, no question.
That's why I lean.
It's Josh Jacobs, no question. In the world that the Giants don't take him, you're like, damn, should I just kept
a lot of these guys are.
Tyrone Tracy is like, ooh.
A lot of these guys are in that conversation, right? Your Tyrone Tracy's, your Chase Browns, I mean, we could name a lot of them, right? Najee Harris is another name that's coming up now. What's up, Alex? By the way, welcome in, my friend. Welcome in.
How you doing, guys?
Kraft, you know, the more I think about it, I'm just not really sure. Like, do you think you could get Laporta? Is that crazy? I don't know if that's crazy. Like, Kraft is so high in a lot of rankings for people. Do you think you get Laporta for Kraft in the 203?
If you can, I think that's crazy. I think that's just like, I personally wouldn't.
Some people have him ranked as high as tight end 5.
I just don't.
I
don't see it.
I would never do it. I'm just saying, like, if you can find a way for these names and sell high on Kraft, great. Otherwise, I think you just hold him. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Like, I don't think you do this move for Andrews, Kittle, and Njoku. You know, like, you just hold if you can't get one of those names. And it's probably not going to happen. You know, we always have to kind of say that. Tyreek, I'm just not sure it makes sense to move off of him if you're competing right now. I mean,
yeah, I agree.
Would you do this for like Ayuk or something, and then maybe you get something back for Ayuk? Like
it just depends on who you can pivot to. Yeah,
Ayuk
I think
plus.
Ayuk is one. Let's just see what KTC.
Well, what about
has.
Ayuk and the 212? A 203 still feels like it's got a lot of value, though. It'd have to be like the 206.
According to KTC, wide receiver 38. Other names you can get around Tyreek Hill, Jaden Reed, Ricky Pearsall, Chris Godwin.
Oh, I would definitely do Ricky Pearsall straight up.
Brandon Ayuk is in tier 16, not 17, but that's pretty close.
Yeah. Well, this might be actually doable than the Ayuk deal. Of course, you don't need to sell Tyreek because you're kind of in this window anyway, and he's a little bit undervalued. Yeah, that's the main type of ideas I'd be building around.
Ellen's calling.
Yeah, no, you're okay. Like we said, if Laporte is possible, in most leagues that's not possible. But and then of course if you can sell Keon for any first in a year, you do it in a heartbeat. But main idea is, packaging that second for with Tracy to get a little more security. You could do it just straight up for Jacobs. The tight end upgrade, Ayuk pivot. Those are all options, but you've won 2 out of the last 3 championships for a reason, my friend. And the great news is, let's say worst case scenario, 6 of your crucial players go down with an injury. You have 2 future firsts next year, including your own. Don't sell your own future first. You want that flexibility next season, and yeah, I think you're in a very good position, man. Definitely go out there and compete this year, and try and win another chip. All right, we are going to be moving on to our next live review. Just a heads up to Darth, Pierre, and Uneasy Allies. If you guys are here and watching the stream either now or later, you have purchased offline reviews. It's only like, if you're a member, $7 super chat to upgrade. If you're not a member with us, it's like a $10 super chat to upgrade. And again, the only reason we ask for that is because of the demand currently that is in the community. So either we sent you a message on the Flock message system on the My Review tab, and go check that out. But if you're happy with an offline one, a lot of people prefer offline reviews. And if you're happy with that, then no action needed. Crush is the next live review available. What's up, guys? If you're watching the video, today's stream is completely dedicated to people who are supporting us on the Flock site, getting these team playbooks. Team playbook is a customized game plan for your offseason. We'll give you customized trade targets, tell you what to do with your draft capital, understanding your league settings. You can get one by becoming a LAND annual Mother Flocker member, or you can go to the Flock store, purchase one a la carte, regardless what promo code you're on. You just got to get that live tier if you want it done live. It's just an extra $10 for non-members, $7 for members. And again, that's just because of the demand. When you become an annual Mother Flocker member, by the way, with the promo code LAND, you'll get a voucher, which will give you a free offline playbook. It's only $7 to upgrade to the live one. So you still use that voucher through the Flock store. It's the same process once you become a member as a non-member, but you just get that voucher waiting for you in your inbox, as well as the trade question and the start sit vouchers in there as well. All right, Crush is next. Excuse me. All right, Crush, you've actually got 2 back-to-back. They're both live review purchases. So let's start with that first one there, which is a Superflex 12-team start 12 with the full premium. Wow. That is as big as it gets for depth. That is a depth is king starting lineup. Obviously, depth being uber important in a league like this. You know, your Jordan Addisons, Josh Downs, your Brian Robinsons, Ramondre Stevensons, Tucker Crafts, Tua Tags. These guys mean something in these type of leagues, right? Not that Addison doesn't in other leagues, but... All right, Crush says, I went all out to win last year and did so. I only have 2 fourths this year, no picks next year, but still have all my picks in 27. We just went from 3 flexes to 4 flexes after the season. How should I go about building the team to win now and still looking to the future? Okay, that is a great question. Let's look at that together, my friend, and walk it through all together. Your team name is Crush 5. It might be something else. Let me check on my my back end here. Your team name is D. Leffler. Yes, I remember that. You've had quite a few reviews with us. I appreciate your constant support. I'm glad you keep wanting to come back. Hopefully that means we're giving you a great product every time. So you won last year. First off, congratulations. That's what matters, right? I mean, we can talk all we want about having the youngest team, having the most draft picks. You know how much money you win for having the most future draft picks? Nothing. You win 0 money. Okay, it doesn't matter if you can't win a championship, right? So you've already completed the ultimate goal ultimately, right? All right, your team 2 here in my rankings. Again, big old starting lineup, right? Depth is king. We got to keep that in mind here. You probably have 3 starting wide receivers because you mentioned you have 4 flexes now. So I imagine what your league actually looks like is start 3 receivers, 4 flexes. So that means you can start up to 7 receivers. This is a big boy league with a tight end premium, a full point. Your starting lineup will look like this: Burrow, Kyler, Bijan, Saquon, Neighbors, Collins, Kittle, DJ, Judy, Sutton, Jacobs, and then maybe Pittman, or actually probably Njoku or Kraft in that last flex spot with the full premium. So it's a deep lineup. You don't have much flexibility here.
This is crazy.
But it's a good starting lineup. I do worry if you get like 2 injuries on this team, there is no way to improve it with this draft capital. Like that depth is going to be a little question mark in the back of your head. As long as everyone stays healthy, you're going to be okay. But you'll definitely make the playoffs with this team, and you'll definitely have another chance to go out there and compete. Now, clearly, these picks are going to do really nothing for you. You're probably best off just taking dart throws at some rookies you like there. On the waiver wire, I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything interesting, and there's not. The best player on your waiver wire is Tommy DeVito, so that's a problem. Carson
That's a starting
Steele,
quarterback for the New York Football Giants.
Carson Steele is your second best running back on the waiver wire. So yeah, yes, we are not thinking about waiver wire with this league. Well,
yeah,
clearly this is a Windows open pathway. I've if you've ever seen one before, this is the definition of Windows open, right? You benefit nothing whatsoever by being a bad team this year. You don't have your pick in 2026. I definitely wouldn't be willing to sell my picks in 2027. For the most part, I don't think I'd be willing to do that. But yeah, definition of Windows open. Let's go out there and try and repeat again, right? Overall team grade, I've got to keep in mind that you have no impact draft capital for the next 2 years. I have to consider that. I probably put this in the range of like a B. I'm either B or B plus.
And for draft capital?
No, that'd be much worse.
Sorry.
Team grade.
Okay, I would say B plus. I think it's a pretty decent team.
Draft capital grade would be, I mean, what? D minus?
Yeah, D minus there.
Untouchables on this team would be Neighbors, Bijan. Let's just say those 2. You could argue Burrow. As far as players that you should hold, anybody that can produce. So there's a lot of holds on this team. You know, like
give me 4.
It makes no sense to drop Kittle or to trade Kittle at this point for a team like this when he can probably produce this year in a full point premium. Probably no point in dropping a name like that, right? A name like Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, David Njoku even. These guys all become holds in your format with your incredible starting lineups, right? As far as droppables, I mean, you got a lot of droppable options here, man. Like MVS, you can move Tyler Bidet, Blake Watson, Mechie, Dortch, Boyd, Palmer, Thrash. I mean, Browning, Aiden O'Connell at this point, Gardner Minshew at this point. You can drop any number of these guys, but I imagine you don't need to because you don't have any draft picks and your waiver wire is butt-ass naked, so you probably don't need to drop these guys, right? Let's go to the chalkboard, right?
Yeah.
Not much.
Chalk it up, kid.
Not much to do here with your draft capital. Take a dart throw and hope you draft the next Puka Nacua, right? They're not really going to be worth much anyway, if we're honest. Okay, so the only moves I can really think for a team like this is like what do you do with it? What moves do you make with a team like this? I don't know. I don't know that you really move anyone.
Nah, my first thought, which I mean, shoot me down obviously, but like my first thought was this is a full point tight end premium. We just talked about Tucker Kraft saying he's a top 5 guy.
Okay, yeah. I like
some
this.
People, you have in Kittle, you have Joku already. What can you get for Tucker Kraft in a full point premium?
Not a bad idea.
That's probably the only thing I can think of.
I think Jerry Jeudy, will say this, like, I think, like, if he remains wide receiver 1 through the offseason, you can maybe sell, right? But at that point, would you even want to sell him? Probably not. This is the problem.
I think I want to sell Jerry regardless, thinking about it, because
even in a league like this where you need...
Well, I just think of... I mean, yeah, it's just tough. I'm just really thinking about the Browns and if they're actually going to get a quarterback. I don't think they're going to go for Shador, personally. I could be wrong.
The thing is, we don't...
If Cam goes... That's it. That's all I'm saying. If Cam goes, I don't think they go for Shador. So they get a Jalen Milroe in the second round. No one's going to want Jerry Jeudy then. Even with Kenny Pickett under center.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like very counterproductive to go out there and tear down from a Saquon, but that might be your move here. Like, why would you want to move off of Saquon as a contender right now? But you're like 2 injuries away from your depth being really questionable. I don't even like the tear down options at running back.
Maybe it's just better. I think maybe Tucker Kraft, unless we can down tier from George Kittle, as much as we don't want to. But like, Kittle's a top 3 tight end, a full point premium. You can get a haul for him, surely.
This is a weird one. This is a really weird one.
That's the only other way I can go. Kittle, tight end 6 right now, and a full point premium. I'm just gonna look at even trading according to KTC.
You might want to look at like Nico Collins in a tear down. I don't really want to move off of Neighbors, but
yeah, I don't.
If we can go like a Drake London route, I'm not 100% opposed to it. I really hate the idea of moving Saquon. I just don't think it makes sense for this team. We're going to explore all our options. So let's start with Tucker Kraft, okay? And surely some teams need tight ends here. Let's look at tight ends sorted by worst to best. This guy's got Jake Ferguson, Luke Schoonmaker. I mean, do you think you can get a DK Metcalf in a full point premium?
That's crazy if you can.
Is that crazy to suggest a full point premium? I'm just gonna see what
full point premium on KTC is 1+ or 2+.
I think that's 3 pluses because it'd be 0.25, 0.5, and then.
Let's read it.
It's not that far off, but of course we hate this trade calculator, and a lot of people feel the same sentiment. What would our website say? I don't think people have really updated Metcalf's. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and update my rankings yet with everything going on.
So I'll tell you names that I instantly went to for wide receiver, like off the top of my head with Tucker Kraft. Okay. I thought of Brandon Ayuk. I thought of Chris Olave. I thought of uh, Jameson Williams, Terry. Those are the names I thought of.
Yeah, I like any of those ideas.
I would argue you could potentially get more for the names like a Chris Olave, the Brandon Ayuk's.
Yeah, well,
Of the
let's go team by team here though, so we know what we're working with. We'll just say, look, Metcalf is totally doable. Let's leave it at that. I mean, I would definitely do it for Addison in this deep of a league. Oh wait, why did I just put it there? My bad. The first practice of the Formula One season is underway, ladies and gentlemen.
In Australia. I'm so surprised that Australia was first. I don't know why that didn't click to me like when they announced it last year.
Yeah.
Look,
one for one deals don't do anything for his depth, but they give us a position that we feel like we can rely on more, even though it's a tight end premium, right? And I think we're like recognizing this is a very difficult team. Like, full transparency, when you're watching this, Crush, what I would probably do, nothing. I'd probably do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. You can flex Njoku. You could flex Kraft if you wanted to. I probably would do nothing. I wouldn't really want to tear down from Saquon and Neighbors. I'm trying to win, you know? So I would probably do nothing. But I'm giving you options here. If you like. And Badaki and I just believe overall that Kraft is a little bit overvalued in the industry currently. But I'm even willing, like, I'd be super curious if... Can you look at rankings here? And, yeah, okay. I'd love to actually see... Wait, is Brock Bowers... Why is Brock Bowers... Is Brock Bowers a... Hold on, wait, what the hell is that? Okay, this is a full point premium. Okay, yeah, right, okay. I was like, why is Brock Bowers at the number? Okay, yeah, okay, sorry. It took a while for me to really... click there. All right, where's Kraft at in these rankings? Tucker Kraft is equivalent to Xavier Worthy. I want to know, like, what's a big tier down then? So if he's tier 13 on their site, let's go to tier 15. Like, Godwin plus makes a lot of sense, I think, if we wanted to add to the depth, right?
Let's see who has Godwin.
And then we can also look at other names like Ayuk. We can see if there's a plus there for us. Let's see who's on the other side of this. Ricky Pearsall plus.
Yeah, like this all makes sense, right? Like,
I'd be shocked if some of this is really possible, though. Tyreek plus. You really don't want to go down too much further from this. Does he have Devontae Adams?
Our guy, he doesn't have Devontae Adams.
Okay, I kind of like that idea too. Okay, let's just explore these pluses. So, who has Ayuk? And do they need a tight end? Because if they don't, it won't matter. Yeah.
Matthew, we'll get to your great question here soon, right after this team review. Just say, hold tight, brother.
Yeah, right after this review, Matthew, we'll have a look at that, my friend. 100% we'll look at that. This could make sense because this guy definitely needs tight end. So, I mean, could you have... Is like the 208 a plus you could make and you send the 401 or something? You know?
I'm okay with that, yeah.
All right.
I really don't
feel like this is possible, but a full point premium, like, we're going to
test
I would even
boundaries.
Godwin?
I would even try, like, the Trey Bensons of the world.
Is that on Ayuk?
He has Trey Benson. Okay. Yeah, he has on Ayuk's team.
Sure.
This guy has literally nothing.
Yeah. Okay, so after that, we were going to go to Godwin. Okay, and we do see you guys' questions in the chat. We'll try and get to that once we finish this review. The Godwin guy does not need a tight end, so that's not going to work.
He doesn't, unfortunately.
Let's go Ricky Slicky. They
Ricky,
definitely need a tight
they need
end.
a tight end. Yeah, they need a tight end.
So you're thinking like Ricky. Do we have Tyrone on this team, or am I just like that? No, that's just
Nah,
stuck in my head.
that was the other team.
So it would have to be like
team.
Ricky. What? You can't get the 201, surely.
But like, I'm okay with Ricky and.
But what if you sent away Kraft and something for the 201 in a full point premium, like Kraft and you think like what about like Pittman? I like that.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't solve the depth problem. I just think it gets out of like a shitty situation Pittman's in.
You have no, but you still have a good opportunity to get more a higher value depth piece at the 201. Like if
Yeah. Or you
I mean, depending on landing spot, Golden goes there. More running back depth at the 201.
you could try for McMillan straight up. Jalen McMillan, that might help. Okay, let's go Tyreek.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. It would
where's
have to be
Tyreek
like
at?
Reek, Shakir. Which I just don't think any of this is possible, dude.
I'll do Shakir in a heartbeat. Tyreek and Shakir. That's hot.
I just don't think
That's
that's
actually
possible.
hella hot. I don't think it's possible either. But in a full point premium, once again, we're just going based off the community's value and how Tucker Kraft is valued as a top 10 tight end. Some people have him, like Zach said, top 6, top 5. If somebody in your league, Crush, values Tucker Kraft like that, you have a Packers fan, you take advantage.
Yeah. So I think that's unrealistic, but we'll leave that there. I don't think tearing down from Nico is really a possibility. If you really want to tear down, it has to be neighbors, right? And then you get into like that Drake London range, ideally. Like London, JSN, Nico would have been perfect actually. But it'd be like London, JSN, Lad, AJ Brown, T.
Yeah.
I think that's, and I really hate the idea of most of those names, but
Yeah,
okay,
I'm not in love with those names.
yeah, in a start 12, we just had to think a little bit differently, I think. But let's see, like London would be perfect. Like London, Adunze, I think we would both be comfortable doing.
Yeah.
I don't think there's another option on that team. Like it'd have to be London and Rome Adunze is.
Except for Jackson.
There's just no way out of that. We can add all of our fourths if they want. Yeah, let's look at JSN now.
Renzo. Sorry.
The farther you go down, the more you're probably going to be able to make an impact. So it'd be like JSN, Rice, and you think you get the 108 or something on top of it?
Yeah. I would feel like that might be enough, Jason and Rice. I could be wrong, but like I'm down for that if you can do that.
And if Rice is too much, does Godwin get that done, and you can ask for like the 106 instead or something? Like let's be honest, we don't want to move neighbors, but a deal like that probably actually makes a difference in this league.
Yeah, getting 2 top wide receivers, or 2 wide receivers and a pick to get more depth later as a young piece.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty.
I mean,
good.
you can push this as far as you want. If you think you'll get the 103, obviously go there. But probably not possible in most leagues. Lad, you know, they just brought Mike Williams. Be careful.
Mike Williams, careful. They have Quentin Johnson there too, man.
Mike Will made it. All right, Lad. Well,
It would have to be like Latin, probably. I don't know for the 105 is going to get it done, but
yeah, you probably can't ask Lad 102, can you?
no.
But
You can add I mean, can you do Lad 105 and something else? What is something?
The 202. Could you do Lad? What about Lad Bucky in the league like this?
Yeah.
You know, someone made a great point that the team who has Lad needs a tight end desperately. So what if we did like Neighbors and Tucker Craft for Lad and the 102, and maybe you could even ask for the like 210 or something on that one. And then maybe we can add Tucker Craft to this deal with Lad Bucky and try and grab the 105. That's probably too aggressive. 202, you think?
Maybe 202. I think 202 would be good, but it depends on how they value Craft.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they think he's the best thing since
In a full
sliced
point
cheese.
tight end premium, this guy is going to be locked in at Warren or Colston at the 105, surely.
Probably, yeah, probably. All right, AJ, I really don't want to do this. Yeah, no. AJ, Dreaming Bride. Full point premium, you can't get that done. No, that's not going to happen. It's not going to work. And I don't want to do T. Higgins. I don't want to do that. I just don't want to tear down from Saquon either. I feel like we're wasting. Look,
what we have is good. Like,
I don't want to do anything, but if we did something, the one that made the most sense was the Kraft Neighbors for Lad 102 deal in the full point premium. I also love the idea of like a Adams Jennings for Kraft in a full point premium, or even like the Pearsall 201. Is there one that you wanted to highlight here? JSN maybe.
Let's do the JSN Rice one. I actually really that's 4, so that's perfect.
Okay. Hopefully this is helpful, Crush. I don't think you should really make any moves, but if you are, then those moves we highlighted we're fine to make.
Yeah, and Crush, obviously, you've gotten multiple team views, which we really, really appreciate. Thank you so much for supporting. You guys, you know the deal, where to get your team playbook. Once it's done on the Flock Fantasy message system, customized to you. But maybe I'm doing the spiel a bit early because we're going right back to you, brother.
Well, we are actually going to Matthew. I didn't forget about you, Matthew, but unfortunately, Blocky did. So just keep that in mind when you come back to the stream next time. And, you know, in case you want a reminder.
I'm just a terrible person.
Matt, what's up, Matt? He says, I'm giving up the 105 and getting the 207 in this trade. So it looks like you would be sending... Are you saying you'd be sending Lad in the 105 for Lawrence, Taylor, and a 207?
Wait,
am I reading that correctly? Because
I'm giving up the 105 and getting the 207 in this trade.
Does he mean this is the 105 on the Lad side?
Yeah, so you're saying that's mid-20s.
The way I'm reading this is Lad, McConkey, and the 105 for the 207, T-Law, and JT. Am I reading that right? That's a terrible trade for you, my friend. That's one of the worst trades we've seen. I'm overreacting. I'm being dramatic.
What team?
I would say this is a hard no for me, though. It's a hard pass.
I'm trying to figure out who's his court. Which one's his team? Sorry.
Well, he would be.
He has Lad. He has Lad. So I need to find
a team. Jay Winters, right? No. They're not.
No.
Where the hell is Lad McConkey?
Where's Lad McConkey? Yeah. Why are the teams not linked like that anymore?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's your team name, Matthew, on this?
Spears and
QBs
Crab
are
Legs.
Tua and Kirk, he says.
Yeah. Look, I get the need to get a quarterback. I would rather go buy Dak Prescott for Ricky Pearsall. You know? Yeah. Look, it's not a crazy trade, but the 105 is just the 105 in lad is just crazy to give up. The 105 is gonna I would prefer the 105 over Jonathan Taylor, and then you're asking yourself, Trevor Lawrence in the 207 or Lad McConkey. I think we'd all say Lad McConkey.
I think this is what I would say. I would personally go out. I would keep the 105. I would keep Lad. And if you have your 26 first, which looks like you do, I would just wait and maybe buy. I would go buy a low-end quarterback.
Yeah, Ricky Pearsall for Dak.
Yeah, can I go get a Dak Prescott? Can I go get a Brock Purdy? Obviously, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Trevor Lawrence alone in a suit, I guess, yeah. You know, I mean.
What about Lad for Brock and something or something? You know, like Lad for Brock. Overall, no. I get the idea of wanting to make the move. Yeah. I mean, do you have a later first?
How about, you know what? If I'm doing that, I'm just doing like a Michael Penix then. I think I would rather have Michael... Would I rather have Michael Penix and Trevor Lawrence? I think I would. Give me a second.
Oh, okay, Matthew. Same league. I logistically get why this deal is on the table, but I really hate it. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, Trevor Lawrence is valued as a late first right now. That's like 109 to 112. I value the 105 over Jonathan Taylor comfortably. Would you send away Lad McConkey for the 109 and the 207? I don't think anyone in this world would do that. Yeah, you need to make Lad McConkey a different receiver. That's a good point. Like, it needs to be like Addison. Addison makes a lot more sense. That's your counter. Jordan Addison in the 105. That is a fair offer as a counter. Lad McConkey is asking too much. I mean, if you polled 1,000 Dynasty users, I'm not sure who would... It'd probably be 50-50 between Lad and the 102 in value right now. So, to basically send the 102 and the 105 for Lawrence and Taylor is crazy. Yeah, the counter has to be Jordan Addison. Not even close. All right. Appreciate you, my friend Matthew, as always. By the way, Uneasy Allies did upgrade to the live review. So if they're with us on stream, we will be able to do that today for you. I did see someone say that they submitted a team today, and I think that was recently. Was that who's Webbs? Is Webbs in the chat? If Webbs in the chat, just so you know, you submitted.
Weber?
Huh?
Yeah, Jacob Weber. So just submitted a team review. Not worried if no worries if not. I was wondering if you guys would get it tonight.
So you submitted an offline review, just so you know, which no problem with that. A lot of people prefer an offline review because they don't want their league to see it, or they just prefer that format. So we would do that review offline. If you wanted it to be done live, we could get to it today. You just need to donate like another $10 super chat, and that's just because of the demand. You'll see we're asking the same thing from Darth and Pierre. Uneasy Allies just did it as well. So it can be done tonight. You just need to upgrade that with the super message on the Flock site. Let us know if you have any questions about that. But why don't we go Crush, then and finish Crush, then Allies, then Tmano, and then if Webbs wants to upgrade, we'll honor his live tonight as well if he wants to. Does that sound good?
I think that's good because that's actually perfect.
Okay. Let's go to Crush.
Let's go back to Crush. Appreciate you, Crush. Let's have a look at this team. He says just picked up this orphan and looking for some advice on where to go with this team. Love the vids.
It's the same lineup, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Like, is this
Oh,
not
two quarterback.
another Death is King lineup?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is Death is King, no question. Start 12.
Yep.
Yeah,
And he's team 7 there, so middle of the pack. Let's see what the orphan looks like. Go ahead and walk us through it.
yeah. Kyler Murray, CJ Stroud. So decent quarterback room. Need another QB3 potentially. Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyron Williams, DeAndre Swift, and the list goes on. Good 2 starting running backs. The depth is not there just in case one of these guys go down. 7 wide receivers. Chris Olave, Jordan Addison, Jameson Williams, Zay Flowers, Mike Evans, Rashad Bateman, and Romeo Dobbs are probably your starting 7, which is not the strongest wide receiver room, unfortunately. With Tucker Kraft, Hunter Henry, it is a full tight end premium, and you don't have any first round picks in 2025. You do have your first round picks in 2026, which is a little bit more better draft capital than what we've seen.
Look,
in the
for
last
a
one.
rebuild to have 2 startable quarterbacks, Kyron and Gibbs, I've seen far worse rebuilds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good starting point, right? Sorry, I meant orphan is the word I meant to say. Now,
Okay. Yeah.
clearly this guy's not. I can't say clearly he's not competing. I mean, the starting lineup would be Murray, Stroud, Gibbs, Kyron, Olave, Addison, Kraft, Jameson, Zay, Evans. There's only one flex away from competing, but I don't think you and I would really look at this roster and say it's a true contender. Probably 1 year punting this, no?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think even with the 1 year punt, he might be struggling. What are we punting? I mean, look, he's not.
Well,
struggling.
you turn some of these guys into firsts maybe, and then you look
You
towards
probably
next
sell some
year.
of these other guys. Yeah, you sell some of these older guys. The Mike Evans you can sell potentially.
Yeah. All right. I think that's the direction we're gonna go. I'd say overall team grade. There's no first this year. That's really tough. I kind of lean like a C plus.
I agree. That's where I was at.
Draft capital grade. I'd have to be a little harsh because there's no first this year. They put you in a tough spot. C plus, probably. I love how everyone's having conversations with each other in the chat. By the way, appreciate you guys looking out for each other. That's awesome. All right. The untouchables on this team are Jahmyr Gibbs and your future firsts. But I'm not 100% opposed to selling Jahmyr Gibbs on this team. Now, the holds will be interesting because I'm not sure there's really a hold on this team. Maybe Stroud, considering his offensive line is decimated, and you probably... He's probably in Trevor Lawrence range right now, value-wise. I don't know if that's an overreaction from me, but I'm thinking based off what the community feels. And then maybe Olave is your only other hold because of his value right now. As far as drops, you got a lot of drops. I mean, Rakim Jarrett. I was on a live stream of Rakim Jarrett's one. Actually, it wasn't Rakim Jarrett. Who was it? What was his name? Jalen Darden. I was on Jalen Darden's live stream.
What do you mean? Like you were watching his live stream?
Yeah, I had just scouted him, and he hadn't entered the NFL yet. And I just said, "Hey, Jalen, like, good luck. Enjoyed watching your film." And then he saw it and he was like, "You didn't even spell my name right. You don't know shit about me." I was like, "All right, sorry, bro." Like,
oh yeah, you stupid. You don't know how to
spell.
Like, you stupid.
Sorry, dude. I didn't realize your almost undrafted free agent status was so high that you can talk shit to people on your live stream. Anyway, Dwayne McBride you can drop. Lewis, Rees, Zamet you can drop. Dylan Lobb you can drop. Rakim Jarrett, Van Jefferson, McCole Hardman, Justin Watson, Sterling Shepard, Darius Davis, Greg Dortch. If you needed Xavier Hutchinson, all these guys are droppable. I definitely need to update my rankings because Britton Strange is definitely a hold as well. Let's put Britton Strange as a hold if he needs one over Who was he? Yeah,
It was
over
Olave
Olave.
and
Over Olave.
Stroud. Okay.
So, yeah. What have we not done admin wise, or are we ready to go to the chalkboard?
We done everything admin wise.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna bring over these picks for your chalkboard. Would you be on the same page as far as selling Jahmyr Gibbs on this team, or would you be opposed to that? I'm just trying to think of how we give ourselves a runway next year. I definitely want to sell Kyron, no doubt about it.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I think if it's a 1-year punt, if we're selling Jahmyr Gibbs in a 1-year punt, then I think we should just go full rebuild then.
Yeah.
Like we're keeping
Might as well,
our
right.
you know, we're selling our premium guys. Might as well.
I mean, look,
full rebuild.
the thing is, you could go the pathway here where you just try and compete straight away with some of these seconds getting veterans. Like you could add like a James Conner, Aaron Jones, Adams, you know, and you could try and compete this year. I'm not really. It feels like a band-aid, so we can go full rebuild. Yeah.
So was it Kyler Stroud, Gibbs, Kyron, Olave, Addison, Tucker Kraft, and then what's that? 5 flexes.
Yeah, I think you're right. Full rebuild feels
Jameis,
smarter
Zay,
here.
Mike.
Okay, so we're gonna sell Gibbs, Kyron. I mean, we would sell Zay, and Mike. Everyone else feels maybe Kyler. Everyone else feels like a relatively fine keep. Okay, let's have a look. At the 206, you know, this team, you're in a position where you can truly draft the best player available. So whoever it is at the 206, you know, we can add Trey Harris here as well. It could be a running back, it could be a wide receiver, it could be any number of positions. That later second, maybe Elijah Arroyo's a target there, or Samson, or one of these Iowa State guys, you know. With those 4th rounders, it is true BPA. It's really pointless to really talk about those right now. In fact, I don't think we are choosing any other option outside of just sticking with these players. Where you're going to make a big difference here and set yourself up for the future is the Gibbs trade. So ideally, we'd like to find a team that's not very good that needs running back help. So let's start from the bottom. Dodge is interesting because their team is dog shit, and they might have this belief if they added a Jennings they could compete. So like the 104 and then their future firsts in the next 2 seasons.
Sure.
And I don't know if you could get more, but I mean, if you could. Wow. What, Juwan Jennings? Maybe. Okay. And if they go out and trade for Jahmyr Gibbs, their team is going to still be dog shit. Nick, we're thinking like a, would you say JSN 107 and a future first?
JSN, a 107 and a future first. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I wonder if you could add like the 208 into there maybe. I don't know. You'll know better, right? Ideally, we want to maximize Gibbs, obviously.
Yeah.
And ideally, we want to do it to a team that's maybe not going to be great. This guy, 5 guys, is not going to work. We have a tank. I doubt they'd work because it sounds like they are aware that they need a tank. But what about like Ricky Pearsall, the 103, the 106, and something else?
I think I would rather just do 103, 106 in the future first.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
That's the kind of haul you'd want. I doubt it's going to work in that guy's scenario. This team makes sense, but there's no assets to do it with. Gustavo Fring. Shout out to, hell yeah, Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Gustavo Fring, my friend. I like it a lot. What about the 102 Achan? And then you sell Achan in season?
Sure.
I don't think that's possible, but I think you and I would both do that.
Yeah. I was thinking more 102, 26 first.
Yeah,
I think
we can go that route.
All these teams aren't amazing. Like, this guy's quarterback room is terrible.
You need more than just a future random first.
Yeah.
I'd say like
100%.
Even like the 102 plus Marvin Harrison in a future first. Well, the 102 and a future first is going to be tough, but you know, in a lot of these deals, like we can be adding a Mike Evans. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Let's not forget that. This guy has no capital. We could try like a 105 and 2 firsts. I'm not sure I like any of these others. 101. I mean, would you do this package where you get the 101, the 108, the 109, and then we send away, let's say, Gibbs and let's say Zay Flowers, for example? To me, I kind of view that as getting the 108 and the 109 for Zay.
Sure. I think that's good.
Chupapi Muñaño. Yeah, I think that's your main options there. Kyron is going to be a little more straightforward. I think if you get like the 105 to the 107, we'd sell him. Otherwise, wait till in season when he's putting up a ton of points. You know what I mean? But we can also try and find a running back needy team that's competing like Robert Kraft, Rub and Tugs. And we could go like a Worthy in a first and then try and get off Mike here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Worthy first. I like Worthy first. Not the get Mike in there.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah, I like that idea. Who else is competing that needs running backs? Pats for life. So it would be trying to get like the 105 and the 205. 105 plus the 205, and we send you Kyron and Mike Evans again, right?
Yeah.
That type of deal. Sutton hurts my conch. We could go the...
Whoa, Sutton.
I mean, I don't mind the 109 in a future first if we're able to send them Evans again, like that kind of structure.
Yeah, that makes sense. He has his first. He has Crush's first at the 108, by the way.
Yeah.
I wonder what he sold him. Or well, he just picked this up, so that team.
That's most of the options there. As far as Zay Flowers goes, I would say like the 107 to 108 range we'd like to sell him for. Mike Evans, I think if you can't include him in a deal, sell in season and target a first from a contender or an early second, you know, something like that. Kyler Murray's the last name we'll talk about here and trying to spark this rebuild. Let's look for a quarterback needy team.
Let's have a look.
So, Gustavo Fring could use a quarterback for sure. What about straight up from Marvin?
Yeah, I think that's good.
You think you could add the 202 there and send Evans away?
That's funny. Yeah, why not? He still gets a wide receiver back. He gets a quarterback he needs.
Yep. Okay. Other competing teams. Robert Kraft.
Yeah.
Still here, needing a deal. I think it would be another worthy and a first. I think it'd probably be that same exact deal.
I agree.
Who else needs a quarterback? I mean, a lot of these guys could use one. 5 guys. You could like tear down to Darnold and get the 201. Is that enough for you to tear down to Darnold? Maybe not.
Yeah, I'm not in love with that, but I was trying to think. Is a wide receiver? He came in at a wide receiver.
I mean, you could try the future first method, and then send Mike Evans as well, right?
Yeah, true.
And then maybe you can also ask for like the 211 or something. Another idea there. I mean, we can try and tear down to Bryce Young. I just don't think you can get like the 107 in Bryce, but what if you added Mike Evans? That might be another idea. 107 plus Bryce Young if we send you Kyler and Mike Evans.
Yeah.
I might even be willing to do that for Zay if they added something, but
Zaza.
that's the kind of ideas. I think the most ideal scenario is getting that package from that team that's dog shit, getting their future picks. The 102 and Achan, and then you sell off Achan. Anything you want to highlight there?
Yeah, let's do one Kyron and then one Kyler.
Maybe the Marvin deal.
Yeah, and then let's just do, maybe we do keep it simple with Kyron Williams in the 105, 107.
Yeah, in that range.
In that range, yeah.
Yeah. Hit the reset button on it.
Yeah, you know the deal. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support on the Vlog Fantasy Message system. You should be receiving that within 72 hours. And thank you so much.
And it will be completely customized, everything to what we talked about today, right? All right, we said we would go Uneasy next, right? Yes, and a little update. Webbs did upgrade his team, so did he? I'm pretty sure he did. So I think he'll be our last review of the day when we get to his.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. So we have Uneasy, Tmano, and then Webbs.
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Let's go Uneasy here. I'm just going to clear his super chat. Appreciate you upgrading to the live tier there. And yeah. Marvin the Martian is the team name. The settings are 10 team start 10 superflex, which puts this in a middle ground lineup.
Yep.
Which is great. And anybody out there who wants their team playbook, best way to get one is by becoming an annual Mother Flock. Remember, with the promo code LAND, you can check out the pinned comment. I'll also put the link in there again, flockfantasy.com/land. You'll get a voucher when you become an annual member. And then you go through the checkout process there. And you get all the benefits of being a member still, right? The discounts on the side and the rankings and the rookie report and all those databases and articles and everything. Uneasy Allies. Okay.
Yeah. Appreciate you. Let us know if you're here live with us in the chat. If not, that is okay. We're going to be reviewing your team right now. But you're currently ranked first out of 10. Keep in mind, Superflex, 10 team start, 10. No tight end premium. At the quarterback position, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Gardner Minshew. Phenomenal quarterback room. Maybe we need to look for another QB3, but other than that, it's great. At the running back position, Bijan Robinson, Joe Money Bags, with no real RB3 to help you if one of those guys go down. You can start up to 5 wide receivers. Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison, George Pickens, Jerry Jeudy, Jawan Jennings, with Jacoby Myers, Jordan Whittington. on the bench there, David Njoku, Kyle Pitts, Hunter Henry, and you have the 101 or the 102, 106, and the 26 first, which is phenomenal here. Great capital and depth to play with some of these players. So
yeah,
I'm
so your
excited
starting
about this
lineup
team.
probably looks like this: Daniels, Hurts, Bijan, Mixon, Puka, Marvin, Njoku, then Pickens, Judy, Jennings, and Jacoby. And then that alone seems like a decent team, but I think you'd be a little bit far off from being a true, like, the favorite. But when you add in the fact that he has 2 impact picks, like the 102 and the 106, that gives me a lot more confidence. Adding a Hampton if he goes round 1, or a Tet if Hampton doesn't go round 1, and then another running back at the 106, that flex and that starting lineup, I think would really improve overall. So I think I really like the team, honestly. I think it's probably like B plus.
Yeah, I think it's B plus as well.
Draft
Almost close to
capital.
A.
Draft capital, I would say it's 2 impact picks. I'd rather have that than like a bunch of seconds and a bunch of thirds and fourths. But let's say B plus as well. You got the important picks. Maybe B flat is more appropriate. I don't know. Okay, so let's think of a pathway for this guy. I think we're contending, right?
I completely agree. He's a contender, especially with these couple picks that he has here, which is phenomenal. At untouchables, I think there's 3: Jaden Daniels, Bijan Robinson, Puka Nacua. If we want to put a 4th one there, we could arguably say Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to moving him, but
Or we can put maybe the let's just keep 3 then.
Yeah. Holds would be Marvin. I'd probably advocate for Jennings as a stronghold. Drops.
Jawan Jennings.
Or do you need more? Because I would also be fine to I was gonna say hold Kyle Pitts. But
we can do 4 drops if we want.
Okay, yeah. DeMarcus, you can drop if you want. Tez, you can drop if you want. Chestnut, Amir Abdullah, Zamir, Locke, Minshew. You could drop any number of those players there. I'd rather pick up Isaiah Davis than any of those 3 running backs that are highlighted off the waiver wire. I'd rather pick up Mike Williams than any other wide receiver highlighted on your waiver wire. And I'd rather pick up AJ Barner than like a Chig or Hunter Henry right now. So you got some waiver wire options too.
Awesome.
All right, should we go to the chalkboard?
Let's go. Let's get the chalkboard up, huh?
Let's get the chalkboard out, baby.
Maybe we should invest in an actual blackboard in your office, and you just handwrite everything.
That would take so long.
Give them that real feel,
That would take
it's
so
like
long.
We're actually in a classroom.
I definitely would like. I wonder if we have like a virtual.
Oh, you can get the smart whiteboards.
Chalkboard.
Dude, that'd be crazy. Put on the company card. Just type in
I don't want
smart,
a whiteboard
smart.
though. I want a
smart whiteboard. Trust me. Type in smart whiteboard. You're gonna see it. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, this is what you're
I want a
about.
smart chalkboard. Oh, come
there you
on.
go.
Yeah, I mean that looks cool.
You can write there, and then you can start using your hands and shit. Just imagine you got Bijan Robinson, Ashton Genty, and you still got your first and 26, and you just moving around there. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be awesome, honestly.
On the company card.
At the 106, you're kind of left with whatever's kind of left over from that top 5, right? But you're either going Hampton or McMillan, and then at the 106, you're probably grabbing one of these running backs that are left. If Hampton goes round 1, he's the pick. If not, McMillan's probably the pick right now.
Yeah.
And let's just say you picked McMillan and then Henderson went in round 2. So you added those two to the lineup. I mean, you'd have a starting lineup of Daniels, Hurts, Bijan, Mixon, Puka, McMillan, Njoku, Marvin, Pickens, Judy. And you could also flex Henderson or Judkins or whoever there, you know. So yeah, that would be great. I don't feel like this team needs to tear down from the pick.
I don't think so either.
In a 10-team league, I'm less desiring that.
I would rather
the depth he has, you know.
Yeah, I would rather stick and pick here.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the team and see if there's anyone we could potentially sell high or pivot off of. But even then, there's no one here you can sell.
I will say, like, if Joe Mixon nets you a first, I definitely think he's worth selling. I don't know that he would. George Pickens, I would be willing to sell. Sure. I just did a video today, and someone got 2 early seconds for him in a video recently. So
Oh, wow.
I'd be willing to do that, you know. I'll say Kyle Pitts for, like, any mid-second right now. That's where he's kind of valued at. Those would be the main, I think, players I'd be wanting to pivot off of.
Yeah, I kind of would agree. How you feel about Puka with Devontae Adams?
The chat loves the chalkboard.
The chalkboard?
I don't worry about Puka Nacua at all, honestly. I don't worry whatsoever about him. He'll still, I haven't updated my rankings, but he'll still be like top 6, 7.
Yeah, I mean,
Devontae Adams is going to be great, but they've supported so many wide receiver ones on the same team.
I guess
so many years.
My question would be, would you still rather have? I don't know what you have now, but like, would you rather have Puka or Nico now?
Puka, for sure.
Puka and Amon-Ra?
Puka, I think.
Okay.
But like neighbors, I'd probably say neighbors now. And
oh right, okay.
Probably Brian.
I guess it was always neighbors.
Brian and neighbors now. Probably I put them over Pooks.
Same thing with CD. I'm assuming.
Yeah, CD over Pooks. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the only names I would be like. Oh, I would rather right now. I would rather have Nico over Puka. I would rather have Amon-Ra over Puka.
Okay.
But it's just nitpicking at the end of the day.
I mean, look, like Cooper Kupp wasn't the same version of himself, but it was so obvious that Puka was their number 1 last year. He averaged, I think, the 2nd most points per game amongst wide receivers. But obviously, you bring in Devontae Adams, you pay that much money, you're probably gonna plan on using him. Let's find a team that needs running back. For example, Lightning Matt and High Diddley Ho. Lightning Matt, they have the 103 and the 203. Maybe we could shoot for like the 203 in a second or something, but if we're going to compete, we might as well keep mixing, so that doesn't work. High Diddley Ho.
That's where I'm at. High Diddley.
That's not going to work either. Okay, how about TD Hayes?
TD Hayes? Let's see.
I'll say this. Look, if you can get any first in any year, I think you take it. Let's keep exploring ideas. And I would say the same for Pickens when we get to him. I don't think you can really expect that. But what I have seen a lot of people get is multiple early seconds for Pickens. Like, we're saying like the 202 and the 204. Type of range I've seen a lot. And then we have Kyle Pitts there. Kyle Pitts is very easy at, any mid-second would do for me. Okay, let's find a Mixon home. I haven't found one yet, honestly. How about the guy who has Kamara? He's got the 108. Can we grab the 108 if we also sent something in return. Like,
It would have to be like Myers or Jennings or something.
Myers, Jennings, or Kyle Pitts. I mean, yeah, you can try Jacoby Myers. I'm not sure it's going to get the deal done. You could also try Kyle Pitts alongside of Jacoby Myers. You know.
What's happening, Brizzleton?
What's up, brother? Welcome in. George Pickens, we can try and find a suitor for him. Let's sort by wide receiver strength.
Would you just want to sell George Pickens off the rip, or like, you think if Aaron comes, his value is gonna like skyrocket, or not really?
I don't think so. I mean, just
Right
last
now,
year,
wide
Aaron was just so bad.
Yeah, I don't see him going higher than some of these names.
Yeah.
He'd probably go up a couple.
I think if you can pivot to like Ayuk, I'd rather be with Brandon Ayuk. He comes to mind pretty easily.
Yeah, that's good.
What picks do we have again? Right, we have just those top end picks. I don't mind the idea of like Waddle either. This guy has like the 202 and the 206. That's kind of in that range that we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So that he could be a good... He needs wide receiver. He could be a great fit. Would much rather have DJ Moore, and I know they're not that far off in some of these rankings. This guy has a 205 and the 208. Would you sell for the 205 and the 208?
Yeah, I would be okay with that.
You could also try and like go Shakir and the 208 and send Pickens and something smaller.
Maybe the 205, 208 might be a bit low. But
Yeah, maybe you send like Kyle Pitts in this deal or something. But those would be the main players I'd be wanting to pivot off of, and not that you even have to. Just prefer other players in their value, or prefer to get off them before they lose even more value. But I mean, I think you're going to be fine even if you hold just with these picks. I think they'll make a big impact on your team. Again, let's say you went Tet and Henderson, you know, your starting lineup drastically improves with those picks. I wouldn't be willing to send them or tear down from them. I think you keep them, and especially in a 10 team or when you want those quality players. Daniels and Hurts going to carry you to a lot of wins. You need Marvin to step up, but the combination of Daniels, Hurts, Bijan, Puka is going to get you into the playoffs alone. And then hopefully Juwan Jennings steps up and Jacoby Myers doesn't get replaced as the number one target with the wide receivers. He's not the number one target. And then Mixon keeps his role completely. And if all those things happen, you're probably the strong favorite in this league.
Yeah, man, appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support.
Yeah, I don't think we have him in the chat, but yeah, appreciate you big time for deciding to tier up to that live version.
Tier up and upgrading.
Tmano and Webbs are the last ones for today, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Tmano, I'm gonna go ahead and complete your super chat there. And why don't you go ahead and read this? I'm gonna just quickly use the bathroom.
No worries. 2 quarterback, 10 teams, start 11. Looks like you can start up to 2 tight ends as well. So it's a little bit of a different setup here. I'm assuming it's something along these lines, and it's rolling deep as well. I think it would be something like that. Right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. Oh, maybe I'm tripping. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, no. rolling deep. So it'll be something like that. Let's read this context here for T-Man. He says, not willing to trade my picks, want to build off a huge draft class last year. In the middle of a rebuild, wanting to trust the process of building my team through the draft, looking at Tyler Warner and Mario Hampton with my first this year. And you currently ranked 5th out of 10th according to the rankings here, which is not too bad. And obviously when Zach gets back, we can kind of have a look at that. But your team name is Atomic City Bombers, which is not too bad. And let me just set up this stuff as Zach is away.
Not willing to trade my picks. I'm just reading this now.
No, you're good.
Okay. His team name is Atomic City Bombers. Is he here in the chat with us? Is Tmano in the chat with us?
I don't think he is. At least he hasn't said anything.
Okay, team 5.
Keep in mind, his lineup, he can start up to 2 tight ends.
Okay.
So I put that in the chat already.
Okay.
2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends.
Does that mean he has to start 2 tight ends?
It just says 2 tight ends in the bottom, so I'm assuming he has to.
And yes, I think you're right. Yeah.
That's why he's saying he's wanting to target Tyler Warner or Loveland.
Yeah. Okay.
Or sorry, Tyler Warner and Amarion with those picks.
That makes sense.
Looking at this team at the quarterback position, Brother Bo, Michael Penix, Derek Carr, decent quarterback room. QB3 is above average or suitable with Derek Carr. At the quarterback position, Joe Money Bags, Najee Harris, Zach Charbonnet, Rico Dowdle. Not the strongest running back room, but you do have some guys.
Yeah.
And he's trying to target Amarion Hampton. At the wide receiver position, with this new setup lineup, assuming you can start up to 5 wide receivers. Ryan Thomas, Lam McConkey, Zay Flowers, Ricky Pearsall, Michael Pittman, and you have Jacoby Myers, Xavier Leggett in the wing, with David Njoku and Evan Ingram, who are your 2 starting tight ends. But you do have Ben Sinnott.
Must be loving the Ingram to Denver action.
Yeah, and then Brendan Strange there. So, and you do have some decent capital. This is a 10-man league, if I'm not mistaken. So that 201 is really the 211.
Yeah.
Which is good. That 203 is really technically the 201. So you're going to get some good capital, some good players here. So you have the 211, the 201, and the 202, according to
The
this.
111,
if we're looking
right?
at a 12-man league.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
The 111, the 201, and the 202, yeah. Great draft capital.
So
Okay, so his starting lineup is going to
yeah.
be Nix Penix, Mixon Harris for now, Brian McConkey, David Njoku, and Evan Ingram. Zay Pearsall and Pittman Myers will battle for the last flex. And we haven't included any of the draft capital. That's already a pretty decent team. Running back obviously needs a big boost. But including the draft capital into this, I probably would give this team overall, I'd say a strong B+.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Once you include that draft capital in, I like the class maybe more than most people, but you know I'm starting to realize that as I see more and more comments on our channel. But I think it's going to be an impactful class. So yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. As far as the draft capital goes, he also has 2 firsts in 2026. So I would probably put the draft capital at like an A.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I would say it's an A as well.
And I think we're a 1-year punt for now. You know, we can reassess next offseason if all the picks hit. I mean, to be honest, I'm not so sure you're not going to compete this year.
That's what I'm saying. You're a sleeper low key.
Yeah.
Because if you do get a Marion, you do get Tyler. Hell, you can get Matthew Golden. You can get an Amico at that 201 if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I'm gonna say sleeper as well.
I think it's a really
right
good
in the mix for sure. Especially with those being late firsts.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, let's do some admin here. So your untouchables would be Brian Thomas. It's really your only untouchable, to be honest.
Yeah, I would agree.
As far as holds, I'd say Ricky Pearsall is a really strong hold on this team.
Brenton Strange.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, that's a great Oh, wow. He had Ingram and Strange on the roster. That worked out perfectly. Drops, you got plenty of options if you want to drop players. Austin Hooper can be dropped. I know it's a two tight end league. You can hold him if you want, but he can probably be moved on from. Mingo, if you wanted to clear space, you could drop, Gibson, Corley. Those are all guys that if you wanted to drop, you could. As far as your waiver wire, De'Ami Brown's interesting as a pickup, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I would agree there.
Yeah.
That's all admin.
Yeah, Corley's not a bad stash. Probably should rethink it now without Devontae there, but my concern is just how uninvolved he was point blank period. I mean, at least Jalen McMillan was involved being the third in a crowded wide receiver room. I just don't know if he has that trust, and it's not the same coaching staff either. He had 3 catches.
I definitely get you. Yeah, I get you, David. I think there is a pathway, you can talk it up, right? There's only Garrett Wilson. What happens if they don't draft another wide receiver on this team? New offensive coordinator, new head coach. They probably want to utilize Malachi Corley. So I definitely get it. I'll switch him out for someone like a Jameis Winston or a Antonio Gibson, actually. No, I had Austin Hooper, Jonathan Mingo, Antonio Gibson. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. Did we do all admin stuff?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so let's move to the chalkboard. I'd like to first talk about names that we are interested in selling on this team. I think Mixon and Najee, I'd instantly be not opposed to selling, given that, yes, we can compete this year, but we're more in that sleeper mode where we'd like to remain young towards 2026 and retool. We don't want a Joe Mixon or a Najee Harris dying on our roster from a value perspective.
Yeah.
I have been pretty bullish on selling Zay Flowers. Now that the DeAndre Hopkins signing has happened, I just feel even stronger about it. It's just a crowded receiver room with very limited upside on a week-to-week basis, no matter how good Zay is. I don't think anyone else is a real sell for me.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
So as far as Mixon goes, we just did a team where we talked about selling Mixon, no?
Yeah, we did. I think it was Uneasy. I'm pretty sure.
Right? Yeah, Uneasy, yeah. So it would be the same kind of range that we just talked about. Obviously, if you can get any first in any year, you take it. But let's see if there's a contender that has a future first that needs running back. Let's see, Love Smoking. They have a future first, a couple future firsts, if they want to improve their running back room. Wakiki Tiki's, maybe they have a first in 27. You could also try and pivot to a Waddle.
Yeah.
If people are really low on him, I wouldn't even mind where's our team? I can't remember. Atomic City Bombers. I wouldn't mind doing adding an Xavier Legette to this or something.
Yeah.
If they want to add running back.
Oh, he's gonna have most likely a ton to top. He has run CMCs first.
Yeah, that's great. That's very good. Would you pivot to Chuba if someone was on board? I would.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would.
I'd probably even send Legette to do that. That might be paying too much, but I'd be willing to do it. Yeah, Mixon's tough, man. I mean, he's almost like the George Pickens range as far as value. If you can get any first, you take it. It's a no-brainer. Otherwise, multiple early seconds make a lot of sense too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, yeah, or like a 203 and a 208 type of situation would be enough for me as well. Okay, we talked about Mixon. Najee Harris, I'm seeing people value him as an early second, and if that's possible, I would sell him in a heartbeat. I'm saying 201 to 204. That's what I'm seeing right now. I didn't anticipate that being his value when I released our video today. I more anticipated him being a mid to late second value because you couldn't get a second for him before he signed there. And the deal is not in. It doesn't indicate to me, at least, that they're definitely not going to bring anyone else. So
yeah,
it's like a strong sell for an early second. And I guess all you can ask for is a 202 here, considering you have all the other seconds. But this is a 10-man league, so let's say the 202, but as well as like the 205, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. 202 is the 112. 205 is the 203.
Would you do the 206 as well then? That would be the 204.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Well, he has a 204.
Yeah. Yeah. But the 206, sorry, is what I meant.
Sorry, you're right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That was confusing.
Yeah, my bad. I mean, would you rather have like Najee or Tyrone? Anyway, that's not really going to make a difference for us right now with what we're trying to do. I think you want to move off of him for one of those picks.
I think I think Najee. I'm in two worlds about Najee. I think they're going to draft the running back, but I think he's going to be the guy for this year. So just really depends.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that happening. I think he's going to more be like David Montgomery at best. And if you think about it, you can't get a first for David Montgomery. The max you can get for him is an early second.
Early second.
And that's with David Montgomery proving himself multiple years. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm a little shocked that people are placing that early second value on him. As far as Zay, we've been saying this all offseason, but the 106 to the 108 range, we'd sell him. I wouldn't mind looking at like a wide receiver needy team here. Like the last, Love Smoking Moore and Villaba Lycans could use a receiver. I don't hate like the idea of like an Olave 205.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, the perceived tear down. Love Smoking has maybe nothing here to work on a deal. But what about their future first? The team is decent. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the future first if you can do that.
Let's say, what was this guy's team name from Love Smoking?
Love Smoking.
Yeah, I like that a lot. This guy has a 108 and the 110, so that's ideal. I mean, can you add Jalen Coker on top of the 108? You know, something like that. Add a little fun upside to the team as you continually rebuild and you're not too stuck on certain names. Yeah. But that's probably the direction we would take this team, man. Yeah, I don't think you're that far off. You don't have to sell Mixon and Najee if the right deals don't come in. But let's talk about draft capital now, because that's why I feel like this team can be a sleeper, because of the options you have there with your draft capital. You're either going to add Hampton or McMillan, most likely, right? So that's going to make a huge impact on this team. Regardless of what you do in a start 11, the depth is going to be incredibly helpful. At the 105, you'll be kind of in that range where you could double down on running back, I think, or you could go McMillan at the 103 and then grab Judkins, Johnson, Henderson at the 105.
Keep in mind this is a two tight end league, so tight ends probably get pushed up the board. So I know he wanted to look at Amarion and then Tyler Warren.
Yeah, Tyler Warren, Colson Loveland, totally in range here. That probably takes Burden out of the category and probably Caleb Johnson based off ADP. So
yeah, based off ADP.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea to add a Loveland or Warren, especially if you don't think they're going to fall. It's a two tight end start league, so that makes a lot of sense. The 201 is actually the 111. So you might be able to get Caleb Johnson that late, and add him. Or, like let's just say about hypothetically there. The 203 is really the 201, so you're in that same exact range of players. Do you take the shot on Travis Hunter here? These tight ends probably aren't going to be available anymore this late. But you could add like a Trey Harris as well in the mix here. So let's say Trey Harris is your last pick, and then you also went ahead and added let's say you took a shot on like Travis Hunter or something, or Matthew Golden. I like the Matthew Golden pick here, actually. That's an incredible haul for a team that is about to be a sleeper in this team. So let's say you went Hampton, Warren, Caleb, Golden, Trey Harris. That's incredible. To start 11, you could use the depth. You add a running back, which you desperately need help with. You add two running backs, Hampton and Johnson. Mixon and Harris, if you keep them, or if you don't, can become your RB 3 and 4 of the future. You add Matthew Golden, which you desperately need to compete in that flex spot with Michael Pittman and Pearsall and Jacoby Myers. Trey Harris can do the same, and Tyler Warren or Colson Loveland. You added a third tight end that you can rely on in a start 2 tight end league. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of that idea there myself.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good one, and I don't think we're going to use max value because you said that you want to stick and pick where your picks at the 103 and the 105. The 201, I think you just continue to go best player available based on that value, unless you think differently.
Yeah. Fig says, dang, y'all go into detail. We do.
That's right, baby.
We are very proud of what we are able to offer you guys and very happy that you see the value in it. Obviously, we get to do these every week, most days that we stream, and I appreciate y'all for seeing the value in it. And if you guys are out there and you want your team playbook, it's a customized game plan for your offseason. You get this after we do the live review if you choose the live review option. But you can get a voucher by becoming a Land Annual Mother Flocker member, or you can get the team playbook by purchasing one through the Flock store a la carte, regardless of what promo code you're on. Just choose that live tier if you want it to be live. By the way, when you become an annual member, you'll get a voucher. You'll still go through that checkout process like a non-member, but you'll go through the checkout process and you'll have a $79 voucher with your yearly membership. And then if you want it done live, just make sure you get that like live edition for like $7, I think it is. And that's just to make sure we can prioritize you with the amount of people that we are reviewing. But shout out to Tmano, man. Appreciate y'all big time. And thanks for the upgrade and for letting us review this team. You'll get your team playbook within 72 hours, customized to everything that we talked about today. And Webbs is going to be the last review of the day. Is Webbs with us in the building? Is Webbs in the building? Let us know. Oscar says, these guys are great, very detailed, and break it down. Keep it up, fellas. Appreciate you. Fig says, had my first one last week and didn't love the vibe. Really?
That wasn't from us, was it? You don't have to say who it was from, by the way. Just if it was us, we would like to know that.
Absolutely. If someone's not happy, I want to know that. I want to know what we can do better.
Yeah. You don't have to.
Says, no, not you guys. Okay. Jacob says, this is Webbs. I am here. What is up, Webbs in the building? Okay, we love
How you
it.
doing,
Love
brother?
it. Love it.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support and being patient. You're the last one for tonight. And let's have a look at this team. It's a 2-quarterback, 12-team start, 10.
A lot of 10-teamers. I'm glad we got into a 12 team here today.
Yeah, a lot of 10-teamers here.
Some middle ground.
And it is middle ground. Let's read this context here. It says this is a super active league. Every member is willing to trade, and they are pretty reasonable on price. Just trade the 203 and the 206 for Jonathan Taylor. Wow, thinking about down tiering from one of my quarterbacks to get a wide receiver or running back. Would love to hear some of your trade ideas.
That's
and
crazy.
Your team name
The
is
203
Webb.
and the 206 and a 12 teamer for JT.
Yeah, that is kind of nasty.
That's nasty here. All right, well, he's ranked first.
You are ranked first according to the rankings here. So let's have a look at this team.
All right.
Let's have a look at this team.
Go ahead and walk us through it. Remember, it's a super flex start 10 with a 0.75 tight end premium. And I'm going to get his draft capital down here on the chalkboard, and you can go ahead and read out his team here.
Yeah, we'll have a look at this. At the quarterback position, Lamar Jackson, Joe Money Burrows, Drake May. Great quarterback room. 3 quarterbacks. Maybe we can sell somebody there in a super flex league. Maybe down tier and get somebody instead of having 3 guys. At the running back position, Jonathan Taylor, Rashad White, and the list goes on. So you got JT for those 2 seconds, which is phenomenal. And you still have a first in 2025. You could start up to 5 wide receivers. 2 wide receivers, normal start, and then 3 flex spots. We like to prioritize wide receivers. So if you're new here, Jamar Chase, Jordan Addison, Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall, and Jalen McMillan are your starting 5. And with Xavier Worthy, Wanda Robinson on the bench there with no real tight end. It's not a tight end, 0.75 tight end premium. And Hunter Henry had a decent year last year. So, I mean, it's probably your starter. Most likely maybe Pat Freiermuth, depending on the tight end or the quarterback with the 106. And you do have your 26 first, which is good there. So
I instantly went to the tight end position on the waiver wire, and you'll notice it is naked. Kylan Granson's the only one that I have ranked that is available. I probably shouldn't even have him ranked. This league must have deep benches. Deep benches. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 players, and you only start 10. So there are 20 bench spots in this league, and probably some taxis. Let's start off by saying it's a pretty good team. Your starting lineup probably is Lamar, Burrow, Taylor, White for now, but we'll change that. Chase, Addison, I guess Komet, then Worthy, Pearsall, McMillan. I definitely agree with you, Badaki, that we need to use one of these quarterbacks. And I actually don't care if that's Lamar or Burrow, because we need to make a big impact on this roster.
Yeah, we need the 2 for 1, 2 for 1, some draft capital. If we can get a running back and a wide receiver in the deal, 2 wide receivers in this deal, having the 106. The fact that you got Jonathan Taylor for the 20, what was it? The 203 and the 206. I think
yeah,
it's a pretty good deal. So drafting a running back at the 106. Getting maybe a running back depth piece and a premium player from Lamar. Can you get him Malik Neighbors, hypothetically, and then, I don't know, Chuba Hubbard or something?
You almost need to go like London plus a running back or Nico plus a running back.
Something along those lines can definitely change this team.
We'll look at that. I mean, you have to take into account when we grade a team like this that the strength can be distributed. I would probably put you in the... I feel like B plus range. I know he's ranked first, but I think B plus feels appropriate.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
It's a very good team. Draft capital grade, we'll put you at a B flat. Nothing to really write home about, but thank God you know you still have your future capital, so you're not stuck up a creek without a paddle if things go sideways. And thinking about a pathway for a team like this, contender. No,
I was gonna say sleeper.
you think so? With those quarterbacks, Taylor, Chase.
So, like, if he didn't make any moves, he's a sleeper.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like with the moves we're about to project, he could be a contender for sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna lean contender, but I can see where you're coming from too. Is there any admin that we haven't done? Well, untouchables would be Jamar Chase, and I mean, look, we'll say Lamar Jackson, but we might trade him if it's gonna benefit the overall roster. The holds on this team, you have quite a few. Slick Ricky would be a definite hold for me. McMillan at this point, I don't think you can really trade him. If you could have got an early second maybe before Godwin signed, but now I don't think you can. Look, if you want to drop players, there's plenty to drop. Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, Zeke Elliott is probably, he is dust. I'm not going to say probably. Gerald Everett, Brissett, any of these guys you can drop pretty comfortably. I
haven't seen Ezekiel Elliott on a roster in a long time.
Yeah, but I will say I can recognize why they are rostered, because you do have no waiver wire whatsoever. And I'm typically not a big fan of that format because it just makes the waiver wire completely useless in your league. I understand why people do it, right? Because Dynasty, you want to have a big roster and find these gems, but I want the waiver wire to mean something, not just a little, what's the word? I don't know. It's like a preference. But I definitely think we're gonna use. Let's try Lamar in a tier down. Is there any admin stuff we haven't covered? Sorry.
No, that's about it. And by the way, Jacob, let us know if you have any questions. Throw it in the chat.
Yeah.
You can jump in at any point in time if you have any questions, ideas,
or
anything.
Feedback on anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we go to the draft capital, let's start with a tier down from Lamar. And then I think we can try a tear down from Joe Burrow later on. I do think Lamar's going to net you the biggest return. That's why I want to start there. I don't mind which you do. I don't even mind the idea if you get more for Burrow and you have to lose the stack of Burrow Chase. That's not going to really phase me. Guys who need quarterbacks, Romeo. Can someone check in on Romeo? Can someone find out what this kid's up to? What am I looking at here? Let's try and get Brian Thomas, right? So Lamar Jackson, we want him. We want to send him away for Brian Thomas. And what do you think? You think you can get Ladd or JSN, or do you think it'd have to be Rice plus something?
I think you can get Ladd or JSN. Okay,
so let's say Ladd, McConkey, or JSN. I think you and I would. The issue is I think we want to tier down. But yeah. Maybe this doesn't work cuz don't we want to have a quarterback 3 still.
Yeah, but I think that's doable by getting somebody low. Like surely you can buy,
like you think you can buy a Dak or a Tua or Trevor for one of these wide receivers like Ricky.
I would rather if I can lock in Brian Thomas and Ladd and figure out, like, have to go trade for Jameis because he's a starter and quarterback for the Giants on like what, a third rounder, like why not,
Yeah, fair. And look, you know how much you can push it. Like, do you think you can add the 207 on these? You'll know best. You can probably add the 107 if you went Rice. And, maybe you'd have to send over Red Rover. Send the 303 over. Something like that.
But I'm not a rapper.
I could write children's books. I'm actually confident I could write children's books. Lamar Jackson. We are trying to tear down from him. All right. Next option is baked, not fried. What about a Baker 102?
Yeah.
You get Ted McMillan or Omarion Hampton. Yeah, maybe you could ask for more than that.
Omarion.
You think you could ask for a future first if you gave back? That's a toughie. I don't know. Like, could you send Leggett and ask for a future first? I don't think so, but I'm just not sure Baker in the 102 is enough for me.
Nah, it's not.
So you don't have to sell if it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and keep in mind, Webb, like you're doing these trades because you feel confident in the package that you're gonna get. Just because we're saying to sell somebody doesn't mean you have to do these trades.
Yeah.
Just try and get the max value from some of these people here.
Yeah.
What if we go like? What if we do like Michael Penix, or Jordan Love, or like a Brock? What about like a Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, well, so far we haven't found like the right quarterback yet. Let's keep going from the ground, from the bottom up. Bryce Young is probably too low. I like the idea of like a JJ Marvin pick. You know,
AJ team, just trying to find it. Sorry. Okay, yeah.
JJ Marvin and the 111
and something.
You know, I like that a lot. That can make sense.
Okay.
Dak, I don't even mind doing Dak, but there's not really anything on this team. Bed Bath and Bijan. You mentioned Jordan Love. You think you could do Penix Bijan?
Yes.
That's definitely a potential target in a package. You know, you might have to do some counters here, right? You could try Jordan Love, Drake London. That might be
I like that.
ideal.
That might be the best one. That might be the best one there.
Could you try and first sneak in Ayuk there if you sent back something as well? You know, let's say you sent back. Leggett's probably not getting the job done there, but Jalen McMillan, as much as I love him.
Yeah, a McMillan or something.
Yeah, you could try that first.
Jacob said, I have a lot of teams interested in May, but haven't gotten the value I wanted for him. Yeah, because they're probably trying to buy him low, which is fair.
Yeah.
So if you just sell the proven commodity now, like the Lamar, Joe Burrow, they're probably just going to be like, they're just going to give you hopefully what you want.
Yeah, you can really make a difference with Lamar. May, you're probably going to get like an equivalent level player. You know, you'll probably do a 1-for-1 swap, which is fine, but I think Lamar or Burrow is going to really maximize.
Yeah. And I get it. Like, you know, you want it, the idea is like, oh, imagine I can start Lamar and Joe Burrow on this team.
Yeah.
For the next couple of years, but in reality, those are the guys that can fit you the most.
Yeah. What about Herbert, Nico?
I like that.
Yep, I like that
That's
too.
Easy.
I wanted to say Bowers, but I don't think that's possible. There is no premium. There's a premium. Yeah, you're not getting Bowers. My bad. But you could also go like Herbert 103. You could go Herbert, Bucky, Olave.
Herbert, Bucky, Olave. Can
I
you
think
get
that's
Herbert, Bucky, Rome, maybe? Or is that too much?
I doubt it.
Okay.
I think that's your main options there. I mean, even like Purdy. You think Purdy Puka is possible? That'd be actually maybe ideal. That might be the most ideal one. You can't get Purdy Gibbs. But yeah, I actually like that offer a lot. And let's just say like all deals above you can swap in Joe Burrow if you want to start there, you know, and then get them to that range. But yeah, I think it's almost really necessary to do a move like this with your type of team. Like Purdy Nakua changes everything for you. Like, let's just imagine that for a second. You're starting Jackson, Purdy, you still have May on the bench. But then you have your starting lineup now drastically improves with Puka as your wide receiver 2. You know, Ricky Pearsall moves down 1, McMillan and everyone. You add much more depth in a start 10, but the quality premium starters as well at the position you need. And then that gives you the flexibility at the 106 to go running back, which we can talk about in a second. It lets you sell like a Worthy for a running back if you wanted to. I like that a lot. Also, a huge fan of like the original one that we talked about, the Brian Thomas JSN. You know, and then you use like Worthy to go get Dak Prescott or Ricky Pearsall to go get Dak Prescott or something, you know?
Yeah.
I like those a lot. Now, that gives us a flexibility at the 106 to go running back, assuming that's the best available player, but that is the strength of this class, right? So at the 106, let's assume, you know, Henderson, Judkins, or Johnson, if they get second round capital, they're an incredible fit for you there. And then, you know, look, honestly, like the rest of these picks, we don't really know right now. It's a true BPA. But what you could definitely try and aim for with these picks is packaging, right? So the idea would be the 303 plus the 306 plus the 403. Can you get the 206? You know?
Yeah.
That kind of range. Can you get the, you know... Yeah, I mean, really, it's like the 206 is kind of that range. Maybe the 207. I'd love to be able to do that. But yeah, you add. Let's say you added Judkins, okay, and then you did this deal for Brian Thomas and JSN. Let's just think about what your starting lineup would look like, okay, and then obviously we've talked about this before, but you send Ricky Pearsall for Dak Prescott, for example, or you know a Trevor Lawrence or Worthy for a Lawrence, one of those equivalent level players for one of these two receivers, right? So let's say you lost Ricky Pearsall. So you'd have Burrow, Dak Prescott starting, or maybe Drake May. But then you'd have Jonathan Taylor, Quinshon Judkins as your starters. At wide receiver, you'd have Chase, Brian Thomas, JSN, Addison, let's say Worthy or Pearsall, one of those two, McMillan. And then that would give you flexibility at the 207, maybe to take a shot on like an Elijah Arroyo if you were able to get that pick back. You know, try and take a shot on one of those tight ends. You know, if you stick and pick with these picks, maybe you can take a shot on the Mason Taylors of the class, the Harold Fannons of the class, those type of players. But I think a tear down from Lamar is going to net the biggest results for this team.
Yeah, once again, let us know if you have any other questions. We really appreciate the support for you being patient. The floor is yours because you are here with us. So if you have any other ideas you want us to pursue or flesh out for you, please let us know there, Jacob. But since you are here, you're going to be receiving your flock. You're going to be receiving your customized playbook in the Flock Fantasy message system within 72 hours. Customized with everything that we wrote up here today. Okay, but we appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support.
Yeah, big time.
Let us know if you have any last minute questions.
Knicks is also a great idea. We can explore that real quick. The issue is capital. They don't have any first in the next 2 years. It'd have to be like Knicks, Achane, Laporta. I doubt they do that given their current team and lack of draft capital. That's unfortunate. Knicks would have been a great fit too. But obviously, the further you go down, like you go to the Goffs, we went to Brock Purdy, right? That's how you kind of like the Justin Herberts. That's how you really make a significant impact in the value you get back. I really like that Nico Collins Herbert one too.
Yeah, I do. That was nice.
But Webbs, the floor is yours, my friend. I'm going to hit complete, but you have the floor to ask any questions whatsoever. Like Badaki said, your playbook is going to be customized to everything that we talked about today. And we've done some work here today, haven't we? I mean, we have been pumping out some of these reviews for you guys.
A little bit of elbow grease, huh?
Right now, we've only got these offline reviews, and Tiv is already done. We're gonna do Darth and Pierre's later, when we get back early next week on their Sunday night. Our Monday, we'll do those offline reviews, unless of course they see the message and they want to upgrade. But it's a great time to get your reviews in, guys. The queue is now for the most part caught up, especially for live reviews, right? The next person who submits a live review, they'll be first on the next stream. So keep that in mind, friends. Wyatt says, Jacob says, no other questions. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you, Jacob. Thanks for the love.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for the support. Appreciate you, Wyatt. Very, very kind to you. Ben says, how much is it? So if you become an annual member, it's $97, but then you get a 30% discount on any team reviews or trade questions or anything you submit through the site going forward. When you become an annual member, you also get our 2025 rookie report, which I can actually show you on the site here. If you go to recent posts, you'll see our 2025 rookie report. Just over 10,000 people have viewed that now. Version 3 is currently out. Version 4 will come out probably
after the NFL draft.
Maybe before or after. I don't know exactly, but the rookie report is a very detailed report. Ton of value for you here. Links that are completely customized to every part of the report as well. If you wanted to look at my rankings, my big board, at the bottom left, you'll see there's a back to contents button. Right here, you'll see on every page. Every page is also linked. So if you want to look at my profile on LeKent Allen, you want to read up what I thought about LeKent Allen, which is everyone's favorite sleeper, you can have a look at that. But there's so much to our report. The Limits Lemonade team is there. The RAS hit rates, the historical hit rates for every position in Dynasty football. It's a very detailed report, so you get that when you become an annual member, as well as a voucher for an offline playbook, right? And you also get the free trade question voucher, the start-sit voucher, our complete rankings, all premium tools and databases on the website. You're going to support this channel, keep us going, you know. So that is the dealio there, Ben. He says, also shout out to you because you led me to pick up Puka in all my leagues before his rookie season.
That's awesome.
That is typically what people are the most grateful for.
That's typically what greats do, you know.
What?
We tell you to pick up good people.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just jokes.
Yeah, I'd rather have the 201 over field as well. Let's end today's stream with we'll answer 5 questions. All right, let's end the stream that way.
5 questions only.
Let's answer 5 questions and 5 questions only to end today's stream. Brizzleton says, I did just sell McMillan, but I think it's smarter to hold him now if you don't have somebody who's high on him. Sean had a question here. He says, what is the best time to buy a pick between the 104 and the 106? For example, with Worthy. Well, I would never buy Worthy for that, but we're seeing that happen every day right now in leagues. So
yeah, that's kind of crazy right now.
Send the offer now. Those picks probably aren't going to decrease in value, so keep that in mind. They're probably not going to decrease in value. Let's see. We have any other questions here? WG says, is Badaki's haircut a chop? Is it a chop or a trim? What do we think?
Oh, look at the old videos. You tell me.
Badaki is killing it with the graphics. Wyatt here with a question. Kenneth Walker, Waddle, Sutton, or Monty Olave in a future second?
Kenneth Walker, Waddle,
it's pretty
Sutton,
easy, the Kenneth Walker side for
Monty
me.
Olave future second. Yeah, I would agree. It just feels better.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to be it for today, guys. Great time to go ahead and submit a team if you want a review. We appreciate you guys big time. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for supporting the channel. It means more than you know. Anytime you become an annual member or you get a team playbook a la carte, or you submit a trade question on the site or you watch our content, you're making a big impact on us and you're helping us kind of keep the lights on here. So we appreciate you big time. Go check out the video I released today if you have a second round pick in 2025 or if you want to buy a second round pick in 2025. So yeah, we will see you guys in the near future. Formula One starts this weekend. So don't forget
Melbourne
about
Grand Prix, huh?
that. And we'll see you guys later. Nothing but love.
Love y'all.